Managing time well is something many people struggle with, yet it's one of the most important skills to build if you want to achieve your goals and feel in control of your life. Time isn't just minutes on a clock, it's your chance to make progress, to grow and to create the life you want. When you learn to manage time like successful people do, you start seeing real changes. You stop feeling overwhelmed and start feeling confident. You get more done without burning out. This isn't about squeezing every second or rushing through your day. It's about making choices that protect your energy, focus, and priorities. It's about building simple habits that help you stay on track every day. It's about respecting your time as something valuable and non-negotiable. When you master this, you take control, rather than letting life control you. Throughout this guide, you'll find practical steps you can start using right away. These ideas come from people who have faced the same challenges and found ways to succeed consistently. You'll learn how to build routines that support your goals, keep distractions away, and stay motivated even when things get tough. Imagine waking up, knowing exactly what to focus on, and feeling calm because your day is planned. Imagine ending each day with a clear sense of progress and no regrets about wasted time. This guide will help you build that reality step by step. Stick with this and you'll gain not just better time management, but a stronger mindset. You'll grow your discipline, improve your resilience, and move closer to the life you want every single day. This is your chance to change how you use time and unlock your full potential. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Master your mornings by creating a clear routine. There is a certain kind of clarity that only exists in the early hours of the day. It's not just the quietness or the empty streets or the subtle light creeping in through the window. It's something deeper, something within. In those first hours of the morning, you have a chance to begin again, to reset, to take control of your time before the world asks anything of you. That's where successful people gain their advantage, not because they are special or gifted, but because they understand one powerful truth. How you begin your day shapes how you live your life. When you master your mornings, you don't just get a better start, you create a rhythm, a system, a reliable pattern that gives you structure in a world full of chaos. You eliminate randomness from your life. You remove the need to think about every little decision first thing in the morning when your energy is freshest and your focus is strongest. Successful people don't leave their mornings to chance. They design them, they make them intentional, and through that design they gain momentum, clarity, and self-discipline that carries into everything else they do. If you wake up every day reacting, reaching for your phone, scrolling through notifications, checking emails, you are giving away your control. You're starting your day on someone else's terms. And the problem with that is it never stops there. You begin the morning scattered, you move through the day distracted, and you end it exhausted without having touched what actually matters to you. The hours slip through your fingers because they weren't anchored to anything real. To change that, you have to give your morning structure. Not a rigid routine that makes you feel trapped, but a clear and simple one that supports your mind, your body, and your goals. You don't need to follow someone else's formula. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. or do an hour-long workout unless it aligns with what works for you. What matters is that you build a routine that reflects who you are and what you value, and then you follow it consistently until it becomes automatic. The key is clarity. The clearer you are about what your ideal morning looks like, the more likely you are to live it. That means you need to decide in advance what your morning will include and what it will not. If you don't decide, distractions will decide for you. Habits will take over, and most people live their entire lives repeating a morning pattern that leads nowhere. So, what does a clear morning routine look like? It begins the night before. If you want to wake up with energy and purpose, you need to set yourself up for success. That means going to bed on time, avoiding screens before sleep, and writing down your priorities for the next day. Before you close your eyes, you should know exactly how you'll start the next morning. That removes decision fatigue and reduces anxiety. You're not waking up into confusion, you're waking up into clarity. When the morning comes, your first win is to get up as soon as your alarm rings. This is not about discipline alone. It's about respect. Respect for your own word. If you say you're going to get up at 6 a.m. and you hit snooze 5 times, you've already broken a promise to yourself before the day has begun. That matters. Success starts with self-trust, and self-trust is built in the small choices that nobody sees. Once you're awake, your first task should be something that anchors you, something that reminds you this day matters, that you matter. It could be as simple as making your bed or drinking a glass of water. These tiny actions set the tone. You're telling yourself, I'm in charge of this day. From there, you build 5 minutes of silence or breathing, 10 minutes of movement, a quick stretch, a walk outside, or a short bodyweight routine. You don't need to overwhelm yourself. You just need to move your body and wake up your system. Energy creates energy. After that, take time to connect with your thoughts. Not your phone, not the news, not the chaos of the world, just your own mind. Journaling, reviewing your goals, writing down your intentions for the day. These simple acts pull your attention inward. They remind you what you're working toward. They sharpen your focus. And when you do this every morning, something changes. You stop drifting. You start leading your day instead of following it. The most successful people in the world do not have more time than you. They just use their mornings differently. They don't leave their mindset up to chance. They don't wake up and hope they feel motivated. They create that motivation through action. And action comes from clarity. If you can win the first hour of the day, you have a much higher chance of winning the rest of it. It's not about being perfect. It's not about checking off boxes or doing everything in a specific order. It's about being intentional. It's about showing up for yourself in a way that builds momentum. Your morning is a tool. And like any tool, it only works if you pick it up and use it. But once you do, everything else becomes easier. The hardest part is getting started. Your brain will resist. It will say, stay in bed. Check your messages. Scroll a little. You've got time. But those are the same thoughts that have kept you stuck. The way out is to take one step forward. Just one. Wake up and stand up. Make your bed. Wash your face. Drink your water. These are not trivial tasks, they are symbolic. Each one is a small act of self-leadership. Each one builds strength. And when you keep doing them, day after day, you begin to notice something different. You feel more in control. You start the day with more peace and less panic. You handle problems better because you're not already overwhelmed. You get more done because you've already built momentum before most people even begin. This is the power of a clear routine. It doesn't make life perfect. It makes you more prepared for it. If you've struggled with consistency, start smaller. Don't try to create a perfect 90-minute morning routine all at once. Just focus on 3 core things. Wake up at the same time, do something for your body, and do something for your mind. That's it. Build from there. Let it grow naturally. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to build a foundation that holds you up when life gets hard. And life will get hard. There will be days you don't feel like doing any of it. Days you feel discouraged or lost. But that's exactly why you need a routine. Because when motivation fails, routine carries you. When life gets messy, structure keeps you grounded. When the world feels out of control, your morning is a place where you are in charge. Discipline is not about force, it's about alignment. When your actions reflect your values, it's easier to stay committed. That's what a morning routine gives you. Alignment. You're not living in reaction. You're not getting pulled in every direction. You're choosing who you want to be and proving it through your habits. That's how self-respect is built. That's how confidence grows. There is dignity in a routine, not because of how it looks, but because of what it means. It means you care about your time. It means you care about your potential. It means you're not waiting for the right moment, you're creating it. Every time you get up and follow your routine, you are building something invisible and powerful, the ability to direct your life. This is not just about time management, it's about identity. If you want to manage your time like the successful, you have to first think like them. And they don't wait to feel ready. They act. They take responsibility. They master their mornings, because they know that if you lose the first hour, you often lose the whole day. You can start now. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need motivation. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to decide that your mornings matter and that you matter enough to protect them. From that one decision, everything changes. Your focus improves. Your energy rises. Your purpose sharpens. And most importantly, your self-trust deepens. Because in the end, that's what this is really about. Trusting yourself to follow through. Trusting yourself to lead your day, instead of chasing it. Trusting that your time matters and you are worth showing up for. That kind of trust isn't built overnight, but it is built every morning. So get up, stand up, begin. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be consistent. Start with one simple win. Build on it, let it grow, and over time, you'll discover something remarkable. You're no longer chasing success, you're living it, because success begins before the world wakes up. It begins with you, and it begins with your morning. Chapter 2. Track your time daily to reveal hidden waste. Time is the one resource you never get back. No matter how strong you are, how much money you have, or how hard you work, you can never earn more hours in a day. That's why the most successful people in the world guard their time with clarity and intention. They don't just try to manage it, they study it, they measure it, they track it. Because only when you become fully aware of where your time is going, can you start to use it with purpose. Most people think they're busy. They feel overwhelmed, stretched thin, constantly rushing from one thing to the next. But feeling busy doesn't mean you're being productive. It doesn't mean you're moving forward. In truth, most of what fills our days is noise, unconscious patterns, habits we don't even notice anymore. Conversations that go nowhere, tasks that could have been skipped, shortened, or done by someone else. And this is where time tracking becomes powerful. It doesn't just organize your day, it reveals the truth about how you're living. When you track your time daily, you stop guessing. You stop assuming you know where your time is going. You get real numbers, real proof, and often the results are shocking. You think you spent 30 minutes replying to messages, but it was actually 2 hours. You thought you only watched a little TV, but it added up to 10 hours in a week. These small leaks become big losses, and because they're invisible, they continue unchecked for years. That's how entire lives drift off course. Slowly, quietly, under the surface. The first step is to stop relying on memory. Most people try to recall what they did each day, but the mind forgets quickly. You underestimate how long something took. You forget what interrupted you. You misjudge how focused you actually were. So instead of remembering your time, start recording it. Write down everything you do for a full day. Every task, every conversation, every break. Don't edit. Don't justify. Just observe. You don't need fancy apps or tools. A notebook, a spreadsheet, or a timer on your phone is enough. What matters is honesty. You must be willing to look at your day as it is, not how you wish it were. Every 30 or 60 minutes, pause and record what you did in that block of time. It may feel tedious at first, but it forces you to become aware of your habits, and that awareness alone begins to change things. You start catching yourself before wasting time. You hesitate before opening another tab. You think twice before saying yes to something meaningless, not because someone told you to, but because you've seen for yourself how costly it really is. After a few days of tracking, patterns emerge. You'll notice the exact hours when your energy drops. You'll see which tasks always take longer than expected. You'll identify who constantly interrupts your focus. These aren't random details. They are the foundation of how your life unfolds. When you learn your own patterns, you gain power. You can redesign your schedule around them. You can match your hardest tasks to your peak focus hours. You can eliminate or batch the distractions that are draining you. You can stop guessing and start choosing. This isn't about perfection, it's about precision. When you know where your time goes, you can begin to make better decisions, faster and with more confidence. You can protect your priorities. You can stop overcommitting. You can stop living in reaction and start living on purpose. One of the most eye-opening discoveries for people who start tracking their time is how much energy is lost through small mindless moments. 5 minutes on social media, 10 minutes checking email again, a few more minutes reading news you already saw. None of these things feel harmful on their own, but stack them up across a day, a week, a month, and you've traded hundreds of hours for nothing. Not growth, not connection, just digital noise. Time tracking shows you where your life is leaking. It gives you a clear mirror, and sometimes what you see will be uncomfortable. You might realize how long you procrastinate before starting. You might notice how much time you give to things that bring you no joy, no progress, no peace. But discomfort is useful. It wakes you up. It forces you to ask better questions. Why am I doing this? What am I avoiding? What could I do instead? Most people try to solve their time problems by trying harder. They push themselves to work longer. They try to move faster. But effort alone doesn't solve inefficiency. It just makes you more tired. What you need is clarity, and time tracking gives you that. It shows you what to stop, what to shift, and what to schedule more carefully. You can't fix what you can't see. This practice also builds discipline. When you know you'll be writing down how you spend every hour, you start choosing more carefully. You waste less because you're paying attention. It becomes harder to justify distraction. You realize that every hour you spend is an hour of your life you'll never get back. That awareness makes you more focused, more intentional, more respectful of your own time. But tracking your time isn't just about cutting waste. It also helps you make space for what matters. You'll discover time you didn't think you had. Time to read. Time to plan. Time to rest. Time to improve. You just need to clear out what doesn't belong, and that only happens when you see clearly where your time is going now. If you're serious about growth, this habit is non-negotiable. You don't need to track your time forever, but doing it consistently for even a few weeks will reveal more than any book or video ever could. It will show you who you really are, not who you say you are. It will show you what you truly value, not what you claim to value. And that kind of self-honesty is the beginning of every lasting change. Success is not about being busy. It's about being deliberate. It's about knowing what you want and aligning your time to match it. If your calendar is filled with things that don't reflect your values, your life will never feel right. But if you take back control, if you make each day count, hour by hour, task by task, you will move forward. You will feel more peace. You will build something meaningful. Tracking your time daily is not a punishment. It's a path toward clarity, a path toward freedom, a path toward the person you want to become. Not someday, but now, because every hour is a chance to choose differently. And when you start choosing differently, you start living differently. This habit is simple, but it requires courage. Courage to stop hiding behind busyness. Courage to face the truth. Courage to change. And that courage will serve you far beyond your schedule. It will shape how you show up in every part of your life. Your time is your life. How you use it is how you live. Track it, understand it, respect it, and everything else will begin to change. Chapter 3. Set clear goals that guide every single action. There is nothing more frustrating than feeling like you're working hard, but getting nowhere. You wake up, move through the motions, finish the day tired, and still feel like something important is missing. You try to be productive. You try to stay busy, but without direction. None of it adds up to anything meaningful. That is why setting clear goals is not just helpful, it's necessary. Clear goals give your time a target. They give your effort a reason. They make sure that everything you do is moving you closer to the life you want instead of just keeping you busy in circles. Without goals, it's easy to fall into reaction mode. You respond to whatever comes at you. You jump from task to task based on urgency or mood. You say yes to things that don't matter because you're not sure what really does. Your energy gets scattered across too many places, and your progress is barely noticeable. Days turn into weeks, and weeks into years, and still you're stuck in the same place, wondering why nothing changes. Clarity changes that. When you know what you're aiming for, your actions become sharper, your decisions become easier. You stop wasting energy on what doesn't align with your direction. The truth is, most people never set goals because they don't want to feel like they're failing. If they don't define what they want, they never have to face the discomfort of not reaching it. But that kind of thinking traps you in fear. It keeps you small. Success belongs to those who are willing to name their desires and take full responsibility for reaching them. It doesn't matter how big or small your goal is. What matters is that it's real to you, and that you commit to it completely. Setting a clear goal doesn't mean writing a vague wish like be healthier or make more money. Those are hopes, not goals. A real goal is specific. It has a deadline. It has measurable results. It forces you to choose what matters most. It sounds like this. Lose 10 pounds in 60 days, finish writing a chapter by next Sunday, save $5,000 by the end of the year. These are not just ideas, they are commitments. They give your mind something solid to focus on. Without that structure, your mind will drift, it will get distracted. It will latch onto whatever feels urgent instead of what is truly important. But the goal itself is only the beginning. What matters more is how you break it down into action. Every big goal needs to be turned into daily behavior. If your goal can't be seen in how you spend your hours, then it's not real yet. You can't just carry a dream in your head. You need to build it into your schedule. That's how change becomes real. One step at a time. One habit at a time. One day at a time. You need to wake up each day and ask one simple question: what action will move me closer to my goal today? Not what's easiest, not what's most comfortable, not what others expect, but what truly moves the needle. When you ask this question daily and answer it honestly, you build a life on purpose. You stop wasting days. You stop chasing temporary satisfaction. You start making progress you can feel and measure and trust. One of the most powerful benefits of clear goals is that they give you a reason to say no. If you don't have a strong why, you'll say yes to everything. You'll get pulled into other people's priorities. You'll fill your day with low-value tasks that keep you busy but leave you empty. But when your goal is clear, your time becomes sacred. You protect it because you know exactly what it's for. You stop apologizing for needing boundaries. You stop explaining your focus. You simply live it. Goals also protect your energy. They help you avoid burnout, not because they make life easier, but because they help you invest your energy where it counts. Working hard is not the problem. Working without purpose is. When your effort has direction, even the hard days feel worthwhile. You're not just pushing forward, you're getting somewhere. Clarity gives you momentum. The more specific your goal, the more motivated you feel. Ambiguity drains drive. It makes you hesitate, but when you know what you want and why you want it, you wake up with energy. You handle obstacles better because they're part of a path you've chosen. You stop doubting every move because your direction is already decided. Goals also help you measure progress. They give you a way to know whether what you're doing is working. Without goals, feedback is meaningless. You don't know whether to adjust or stay the course. But when you set clear outcomes, you can track results. You can reflect. You can make smarter choices. You can stop wasting time on what isn't working and double down on what is. One of the most damaging beliefs is that setting goals will make you rigid or inflexible. The opposite is true. Clear goals actually give you freedom. When you know where you're going, you don't need to say yes to everything. You don't need to prove yourself constantly. You can focus, you can simplify, you can let go of distractions without guilt. And when life changes, you can adjust your path without losing your purpose. Clarity also strengthens discipline. When your goal is strong, you're not just relying on willpower, you have a deeper reason to stay committed. You're not waking up wondering what to do, you already know. You don't need to force motivation. You create it by seeing progress, and that progress builds self-respect. Every time you take action aligned with your goal, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted to follow through. But even the clearest goal means nothing if it stays on paper. You need to bring it into your behavior. That means reviewing it often, writing it down every morning, visualizing what success looks like, reminding yourself why it matters, especially on the days you feel tired or discouraged. Goals aren't just written once and forgotten. They live in your daily decisions. To build that kind of discipline, you need to remove the gray areas from your life. Don't say you'll work on your project later. Schedule it. Don't say you'll eat better sometime. Define what that means. Don't say you'll save more soon. Set the exact amount. Ambiguity is the enemy of execution. The more precise you are, the more progress you make. You also need to track your behavior, not just your results. You can't always control outcomes, but you can control whether you showed up, whether you followed your routine, whether you gave your best. When you track those things, you build momentum no matter what, and that momentum carries you through the slow seasons when progress feels invisible. Every goal should stretch you without breaking you. It should challenge you without overwhelming you. It should excite you even if it scares you. If your goals feel too comfortable, you're not growing. But if they feel impossible, you'll give up. The sweet spot is just outside your comfort zone. That's where growth lives. That's where transformation begins. When your goals are clear and your actions are aligned, something shifts inside you. You start walking differently, thinking differently, showing up with more certainty. You stop waiting for life to happen. You start making it happen, and that's what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. No one drifts their way to success. It's not something you stumble into. It's something you build, day by day, action by action, guided by clear intention. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a clear goal and the courage to begin. Every day, you move toward it. You're becoming more of who you were meant to be. Every step forward is a choice to live deliberately, instead of accidentally. That's the power of clarity. That's the power of goals. And that power is in your hands right now. Chapter 4. Break big tasks into small steps with deadlines. Big goals often feel exciting at first, but that excitement quickly fades when you don't know where to begin. The larger the task, the more overwhelming it becomes, and the more overwhelmed you feel, the more likely you are to delay, avoid, and abandon what you once felt passionate about. This is where so many people get stuck, not because they lack potential or willpower, but because they never learned how to break things down into manageable pieces. They look at the entire mountain and freeze, instead of just focusing on the next step. When a task feels too big to finish, the mind starts finding excuses. You think it's not the right time. You tell yourself you're too tired. You keep waiting for clarity or motivation, but they rarely arrive when you're stuck in mental chaos. The solution is not to work harder. The solution is to divide the work until it feels doable, until it feels simple, until it stops being a vague project and becomes a series of clear, specific actions. When something is broken into small steps, it stops feeling like a threat. The mind relaxes. You regain a sense of control. Even the most complex challenge becomes approachable when you can see the path forward. That's why successful people don't try to tackle everything at once. They chunk it. They simplify it. They define exactly what needs to happen first, and then they act on it. Not someday, not when they feel like it. Immediately. Clarity leads to momentum, and momentum leads to results. It's not enough to say you're going to write a book or start a business or improve your health. Those are not tasks, they're outcomes. The mind can't act on something vague. It needs instruction. So instead of saying start a business, say research 3 ideas today for 30 minutes. Instead of saying get in shape, say walk for 15 minutes after breakfast. That shift from big and abstract to small and concrete is what moves you from procrastination to progress. One of the biggest time traps people fall into is thinking they don't have enough time to finish something, so they don't even begin. But what they don't realize is that progress doesn't require large chunks of time. It just requires clear next steps. A 5-minute action that moves you forward is infinitely more valuable than an hour spent overthinking. When you break tasks into steps, you give yourself permission to start. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, and you start doing the best you can with what you have. And it's not just about small steps. It's also about setting clear deadlines. Without a deadline, even a simple task can drag on forever. Your brain needs a time container. It needs a boundary. Otherwise, it will delay until the urgency becomes unbearable. That's why giving each step a deadline is essential. You're not just saying what needs to be done. You're saying when it will be done. That turns your intention into commitment. It eliminates the loopholes your mind likes to exploit. It keeps you honest. People often associate deadlines with pressure or stress, but in reality, deadlines bring freedom. They protect your focus. They remove ambiguity. They make it easier to say no to distractions because you have something concrete to return to. They also train your discipline. The more you follow through on your own deadlines, the more confident you become in your ability to finish what you start, and that confidence changes everything. It spills into your relationships, your work, your habits, because deep down you trust yourself. To build this habit, choose one big task that has been sitting on your list for too long. Write it down, then ask yourself, what is the very first action I need to take? Keep asking that question until you've broken the task down into the smallest possible steps. If a step still feels overwhelming, break it again. Keep doing that until you're left with something so simple, so clear, that you could do it right now without hesitation. Then do it. That's how you reclaim momentum. Not by thinking about the whole journey, but by taking the first step with full attention. After you've defined each step, assign each one a specific time or day. Put it on your calendar. Treat it like an appointment. Don't just say, "You'll get around to it." That kind of language leads to inaction. Make it real. Give it a space in your day. Then honor that space like you would honor a meeting with someone important, because you are important, your goals are important, and your time should reflect that. This approach also eliminates mental clutter. When your goals live only in your head, they become tangled. You forget what the next move is. You repeat the same thoughts. You waste energy remembering instead of acting. But when everything is written down, when your steps and deadlines are clear, you free up space to focus, to think, to breathe. Your mind stops holding on to everything at once, and you gain the calm that comes from organization. And you don't need to wait for perfect conditions to apply this. You don't need more tools or more time. You just need the willingness to slow down and break things apart. That patience at the beginning saves you hours of confusion later. It keeps you from abandoning your progress every time you hit a wall, because you already know what to do next. You already have a plan. You just need to follow it. Discipline is easier when the task feels manageable. Willpower is stronger when the step feels light. You don't need to rely on force when the action feels natural. That's the power of breaking things down. It reduces resistance. It reduces fear, and it increases your ability to take consistent action. This method also gives you a clear way to measure success. Instead of asking if the entire project is finished, you ask if the next step is done. That shift in focus keeps you engaged. It creates a steady sense of progress. You don't need to wait until the end to feel accomplished. You feel it every time you complete a step. That feeling compounds. It builds momentum. It makes you want to keep going. Sometimes, the reason we don't finish what we start is because we expect it all to happen at once. We think success should be fast, dramatic, and linear. But real progress is quiet. It happens in layers. It happens when you show up again and again, doing what needs to be done even when no one is watching. And the best way to do that is by making each action simple, specific, and time-bound. This mindset doesn't just help you complete tasks, it changes the way you approach your life. You stop seeing challenges as overwhelming. You stop waiting for clarity to arrive. You create clarity through action. You don't get stuck wondering how to finish something. You just ask, what's the next smallest move I can make? And then you do it. That mindset builds strength. It builds courage. It builds a level of self-mastery that no one can take from you. Every big achievement is just a series of small, well-executed steps. Every dream that feels out of reach becomes possible when you turn it into a daily plan. Every deadline you meet becomes a building block in the foundation of your character. This is how people move forward, not through sudden leaps, but through steady, deliberate movement. Your goals are valid. Your time is valuable. Your vision deserves execution, and the path to execution is through simplicity. Take what feels overwhelming, break it apart, define the steps, set the deadlines, then begin. Not when it's perfect, not when you feel ready. Begin because you've already decided you will. That is how things get done. That is how lives get changed. Chapter 5. Eliminate distractions by turning off all notifications. There's a silent thief stealing your focus every day. It doesn't knock. It doesn't ask for permission. It slips in disguised as convenience, disguised as connection. It's the endless stream of notifications, each one a tiny interruption that pulls you away from what matters. You may not notice it at first. One buzz here, one ping there, a red dot, a banner, a vibration in your pocket. But over time, these small disruptions accumulate into hours lost, thoughts broken, momentum scattered. What could have been deep, focused work becomes shallow and reactive. You keep switching between tasks, but never fully engaging with any of them. Your mind gets fragmented, and so does your potential. Turning off notifications isn't about being less connected to the world. It's about being more connected to your goals. Every time your phone lights up, it demands your attention, and attention is a limited resource. You only get so much of it in a day. If you give it away to every incoming message or social media update, what's left for your growth? What's left for your plans, your progress, your priorities? You can't build a focused life while staying available to constant interruption. The two don't mix. We live in a world designed to keep you distracted. Apps are built to hook your attention. Platforms are engineered to keep you checking, scrolling, reacting. Every sound and symbol is designed to create urgency, even when nothing is truly urgent. And the more you respond, the more you're trained to react automatically. You become less intentional, less present, less powerful. The only way to break free is to take back control of your environment, and it starts with silence. When you turn off notifications, you stop letting other people's agendas shape your day. You stop giving your time away by default. You create space to think clearly, work deeply, and live deliberately. It might feel strange at first. You might feel a bit disconnected, but that disconnection is a gift. It's the space where you remember what matters most. It's the silence where you hear your own thoughts again. It's the stillness where real concentration returns. Most people don't realize how often they're interrupted. They think it's just a few seconds here and there, but the truth is, every disruption costs more than the moment it takes to glance at a screen. It takes time to get back into flow. It takes energy to recenter your mind. And if this keeps happening throughout your day, you never get into deep focus. You stay on the surface. You stay busy, but not productive. Active, but not effective. The quality of your focus shapes the quality of your work. If your attention is scattered, your results will be scattered. If your mind is divided, your effort will be diluted. But when you create an environment free of distractions, everything sharpens. Your thinking becomes clearer. Your ideas become stronger. Your work becomes faster, smoother, more aligned. You get more done in less time because your energy is no longer being drained by constant redirection. This doesn't mean cutting off all technology. It means being intentional. Set specific times to check your messages. Set boundaries around when you'll respond to emails. Designate parts of your day for deep work, and protect that time like you would protect a meeting with someone important. Because when you're working on your goals, you are meeting with someone important. That time matters. That silence matters. that focus matters. Start small if you need to. Turn off notifications for just one app, then another, then another. Notice how much calmer your mind feels. Notice how much more time you suddenly have. Every distraction you remove adds minutes back to your day. Every alert you silence gives you more power over your choices. And the more you do this, the stronger your concentration becomes. Focus is like a muscle. It grows with use, and the less it's interrupted, the stronger it gets. Many people fear they'll miss something important if they silence notifications. But the truth is, most things can wait. Not everything needs an immediate response. Urgency is often manufactured. You don't need to be available every second to be responsible. You don't need to answer instantly to be professional. What you need is clarity. What you need is uninterrupted time to move your life forward. What you need is the space to think for yourself without the noise. Think about the last time you were deeply focused on something meaningful. Maybe you were writing, creating, problem-solving, learning. That feeling of full engagement, that's when you were at your best. That's when you were most alive, most capable. You weren't distracted. You weren't checking your phone. You were immersed. You were present. That level of focus is available to you more often than you think, but only if you protect it. Only if you create the conditions that allow it to flourish. You'll be surprised how quickly your mind clears once the notifications stop. You'll feel more in control, less anxious, more deliberate in everything you do. You'll start choosing your actions instead of reacting to digital triggers. You'll start reclaiming time that was once lost to empty scrolling. You'll begin using your devices as tools, not as traps, and in that shift, everything changes. The modern world rewards distraction, but success rewards focus. The difference between the life you have and the life you want often comes down to what you're willing to eliminate. Not just what you're willing to do, but what you're willing to silence. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more willpower. You need less noise. Give yourself the gift of quiet. Give your mind the space to go deep. Shut off the unnecessary. Reclaim the energy that's been leaking away one ping at a time. Make your environment match your intentions. Because if you're serious about your goals, you can't afford to keep losing your attention to meaningless alerts. Every minute you spend distracted is a minute you don't get back. Every hour you spend interrupted is an hour of creativity wasted. But you can change that. You can make your time sacred. You can choose silence. You can choose purpose. You can choose to build a life where your focus is protected, your energy is directed, and your actions are fully aligned with your vision. And it starts now, right here. One choice at a time. Turn them off. All of them. You won't miss anything that matters, but you'll finally have the space to become someone who does. Chapter 6. Prioritize what matters most every single morning. Before the noise begins, before the messages pour in, before the world tries to shape your attention, there is a small window of silence, a space in the early hours when your mind is still your own. This is where your day begins, not just in motion, but in purpose. It's in this quiet that you have the rare opportunity to make a conscious choice. What will matter most today? What must not be ignored? What is worth your time, energy, and commitment? Those questions are not trivial. They are your compass. They are the difference between wandering and moving with direction. Every morning, you face a decision that will shape everything else that follows. If you start your day without choosing your priorities, the world will assign them for you. You'll be pulled in all directions. Emails, tasks, requests, problems to solve, and fires to put out. Before you even realize it, your energy is spent on things that do not serve your goals. This is how days slip away, not with deliberate neglect, but with passive surrender. And when enough days go this way, weeks go this way, then months, then years. To take control of your life, you must first take control of your mornings, not in a frantic, hyper-productive way, but in a clear and honest one. Sit still. Look at the day ahead. Ask yourself what absolutely must be done. What single task, if completed, would move your life forward in a meaningful way? That's your priority. That's your anchor. That's where your focus belongs. Not scattered across 30 low-impact chores, but centered on one thing that counts. It's tempting to start the day by reacting. It feels urgent to check notifications, to reply to messages, to cross off small items quickly, but the cost is high. When you begin your morning in reaction, you spend the best part of your energy on the least valuable activities. You burn your prime hours on things that matter very little in the long term. By the time you get to what's truly important, your mind is tired, and your motivation has faded. That's why mornings matter so much. Not because of what they are, but because of what they set in motion. The brain is most focused and resilient in the first few hours after waking. This is your window of high clarity, when distractions haven't yet hijacked your thinking. To waste that time is to waste your sharpest weapon. If you claim those hours, if you use them to address your most important work, you gain momentum. You build progress. You end the day knowing that, no matter what else happened, you made real progress where it counts. Choosing what matters most isn't just about tasks, it's about alignment. It's making sure that what you do today reflects the life you want tomorrow. It's making sure that your effort is building something bigger, not just keeping you busy. So every morning, ask yourself, what am I really working toward? What does success look like to me personally? And what can I do today that will bring me one step closer to that picture? This doesn't have to take hours. It doesn't even have to take 30 minutes. 5 minutes of focused clarity can be enough to rewrite your entire day. Write it down. One priority, one goal, one commitment. Keep it in front of you. Let it guide your choices. Let it help you say no to what doesn't serve it. Because every yes to something meaningless is a no to something important. When you train yourself to prioritize each morning, something shifts internally. You stop feeling overwhelmed by everything. You stop chasing other people's urgency. You start noticing how much time you were giving to things that never moved your life forward. You begin acting with direction. You stop reacting emotionally to chaos. You build days that feel full but not frantic, and over time this becomes a habit, a quiet ritual that transforms your relationship with time. Not every day will go as planned. Disruptions will happen. Emergencies will arise, but if you start from a place of clarity, you'll adapt with purpose. You'll know what to return to once the noise settles, and even in the chaos, you'll have that anchor, a reminder of what you chose to value. That single choice can steady you when things get messy. It can help you reclaim your attention, even when the day tries to pull it away. This habit compounds. The more mornings you begin with intention, the more progress you see. The more progress you make, the more confident you feel, and confidence builds momentum. You're no longer wondering where your time went. You know where it went. It went to the right place. It went into your vision, your goals, your next step forward. That sense of control brings peace. That peace brings power. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right thing. The thing that matters. The thing that changes your life in small, steady ways. Let the morning be your moment to choose that. Don't let the outside world flood in before you've made your decision. Don't let external noise define your internal direction. Protect that first hour. Use it to think. Use it to plan. Use it to make one clear choice about what you will focus on. Even if you only accomplish your one highest priority each day, you are ahead of most, because most people are scattered. Most people are exhausted from trying to do too much. Most people never stop to ask what matters most. But you can be different. You can choose focus. You can choose direction. You can let your mornings guide your entire life, not by how early you wake up, but by how clearly you decide what deserves your energy. So tomorrow, before the world begins pulling at you, sit down. Look at your list. Ask yourself what will move your life forward, not what will keep you busy, not what will please others, not what will just help you survive the day. Choose the task that builds your future. Choose the one that challenges you. Choose the one you've been avoiding but know you need to do. Then do it. Before anything else, that is the act of self-leadership. That is the foundation of growth. That is how you build the life you actually want. One focused morning at a time. Chapter 7. Say no quickly to anything that drains focus. Your time and energy are limited resources, and each time you give them away to the wrong thing, you pay a price that cannot be refunded. Every conversation, every request, every favor, every meeting that doesn't serve your priorities is a withdrawal from your mental clarity. That's why learning to say no, quickly, clearly, and without guilt, is a skill you must master if you ever want to reach your full potential. Focus is not just about what you say yes to. It's even more about what you refuse to allow into your space. The more serious you become about your goals, the more selective you must become with your attention. Focus isn't maintained by willpower alone. It's protected by boundaries, and boundaries start with being able to say no without hesitation. Not later, not after you've thought about it for a week, but immediately, when you feel that something isn't aligned. If it dilutes your concentration, if it shifts you away from your direction, if it's simply a distraction, dressed as opportunity, it doesn't belong in your life. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. There is no shortage of things trying to interrupt you. Some are obvious unnecessary meetings, endless scrolling, background noise that fragments your thinking. But others are more subtle, people who mean well but pull you into their problems, commitments that feel urgent but offer no value, tasks you accept just to avoid discomfort. These are the quiet thieves of your time, and unless you develop the discipline to guard your focus, they will invade every corner of your day before you even notice. You are not obligated to explain your no. You are not required to justify why you're choosing to protect your attention. You owe it to yourself to maintain clarity, because every time you say yes to something meaningless, you are saying no to something meaningful. And over time, that trade adds up. It weakens your discipline. It scatters your efforts. It slows your progress. But when you say no with speed and conviction, you create space. Space for deeper work. Space for rest. Space for growth. Most people struggle to say no because they don't want to disappoint others. They fear being seen as selfish or uncooperative. But what's more selfish, turning down one request or sacrificing your vision because you spent all day reacting to things that don't move you forward? The truth is, people who truly respect you will understand your no. And those who don't are not entitled to your time in the first place. You can be kind and still be firm. You can care about others and still prioritize your mental space. Saying no isn't a rejection of people. It's a commitment to your purpose. It's a reminder to yourself that your goals are not up for negotiation. You don't owe your presence to every event, your input to every problem, or your effort to every cause. You owe your best energy to what matters most. Some decisions don't require long reflection. if you already know it's not aligned. Don't stall. Delayed no's often turn into guilt-driven yeses, and those are the worst kind. They drag you into obligations that leave you drained and resentful. If it doesn't serve your values, your goals, or your peace of mind, end the conversation quickly. Don't try to soften the blow with over-explaining. A simple, respectful no is enough. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes. At first, you might feel uncomfortable. That's natural. But each time you say no to the wrong thing, you reinforce your commitment to the right thing. You gain strength. You become less reactive, more intentional. You stop giving pieces of yourself away in exchange for temporary approval. You begin to live with clarity, and clarity breeds freedom. Every distraction you eliminate gives you more time to invest in your best work. That 1 hour you saved by avoiding an unnecessary call could be the hour where you solve a real problem, finish something that's been sitting undone, or take care of yourself in a way that sharpens your mind. Distractions don't just interrupt your work, they interfere with your identity. They pull you out of alignment with the person you're trying to become. You can't afford that. Look at your calendar, look at your inbox, look at the requests waiting for your response. How many of those things deserve your best effort? How many of them are just noise? Be honest. Then act on that honesty. Say no without delay. Say it directly. Say it early, because the earlier you decline, the more time you preserve. The more time you preserve, the more focus you maintain. And the more focus you maintain, the closer you get to your vision. You are not cold for saying no. You are not arrogant for protecting your attention. You are serious. You are focused. You are building something that matters, that doesn't happen by accident. It happens by choice. And saying no is one of the most powerful choices you can make. It's a small action with massive impact. One well-placed no can give you back your whole afternoon. One no can protect your peace. One no can sharpen your entire week. You don't need to feel bad for not attending every event, responding to every message, or fixing every issue that crosses your path. Not every battle is yours to fight. Not every opportunity is yours to chase. Your path requires discipline, and discipline often looks like silence. Stillness, stepping back from the noise so you can hear your own thoughts. When you say no to distractions, you're not missing out. You're creating room for deeper connection, deeper work, and deeper progress. Eventually, people will begin to respect your clarity. They'll stop sending you pointless requests because they know you won't entertain them. They'll stop assuming your availability. They'll start to see you as someone who values their time. And in turn, they'll value it too, but you have to start with you. You have to be the first person to respect your attention. That respect begins with a firm no. The world is full of demands. But you don't have to meet them all. You don't have to carry what isn't yours. You don't have to explain your boundaries. You just have to keep them. Guard your focus, like your future depends on it. Because it does. One no at a time. You'll clear the way. You'll build the space for excellence. You'll stop surviving your schedule and start owning your time. That's how progress is made. Not by doing more, but by doing less of what doesn't matter. Chapter 8. Schedule rest to recharge your energy and clarity. If you're always running, always pushing, always working, you're not being productive. You're wearing yourself down. High performance isn't about staying busy from morning to night. It's about knowing when to pause. The most successful people in the world don't just schedule work. They schedule recovery. They treat rest as a vital part of their discipline, not a reward for burnout. Because without rest, your mind gets cloudy, your energy gets low, and your ability to make sound decisions begins to fade. That's not laziness. That's reality. You can't bring your best to anything if you never stop to recharge. When you work without rest, your creativity suffers, your focus slips, your patience shortens, and slowly your ambition becomes a burden instead of a driving force. The body breaks down and the mind follows. You begin to chase progress but get nowhere. That's why rest must be built into your system, not left for later. If you wait for exhaustion to force you to stop, it will always come at the worst time. The people who sustain results over years, those who stay clear, calm, and effective, are the ones who protect their recovery time as fiercely as they protect their priorities. They don't see rest as optional. They see it as essential. They understand that energy is not unlimited, and if you don't restore it regularly, you'll collapse under the weight of everything you're trying to do. The clarity you need won't come in the middle of a rushed task. It comes in stillness. Some of your most important ideas will appear when you're not trying to think at all during a walk, a quiet evening, or a good night's sleep. But if you never slow down, you never give those ideas space to rise. You smother your own insight with noise and motion. And when clarity fades, even the simplest problems feel impossible. You need discipline to rest, because rest requires saying no to constant doing. In a world that glorifies hustle, it takes strength to unplug. But you have to remind yourself that productivity isn't measured by how many hours you stay active. It's measured by how much of your energy is focused and intentional. 10 hours of distracted effort won't equal 2 hours of clear, rested, deliberate work. When you're drained, everything takes longer. When you're sharp, things flow. But sharpness doesn't happen by accident. It's a result of balance. Rest doesn't always mean sleep. Sometimes it means stepping away from your screen, taking a quiet lunch alone, spending an hour without stimulation, giving your mind a break from decisions, noise, and performance. These small pauses refill your mental tank. They let your nervous system reset. They give you back the strength to move forward with clarity. But they have to be planned. You can't assume they'll happen naturally. You must create space for them. Start by putting rest on your calendar like any other priority. Don't squeeze it in after everything else. Put it in first. Block time for stillness. Make room for recovery. Don't skip it just because you feel behind. The more behind you feel, the more you need to slow down and reset your pace. Fatigue creates mistakes. Fatigue invites confusion. Fatigue amplifies frustration, but recovery resets your vision. It lets you return to your goals with new perspective. It's not about doing nothing forever. It's about pausing long enough to remember what you're doing and why. When you go too long without rest, your purpose gets blurry. You start reacting instead of creating. You chase tasks instead of results. You forget what matters and settle for what's urgent. Rest reconnects you to your direction. It brings your focus back to the surface. There's a version of you that performs with excellence, handles stress with grace, and solves problems with confidence. That version is not born from exhaustion. It's built on rhythm. It's built on cycles of deep work, followed by deep rest. You can't maintain high standards if you don't recover. That's not weakness. That's physiology. Even machines need to cool down. Even the strongest engines require maintenance. The modern world will never ask you to rest. It will demand more, faster, now. You must protect your peace with intention. Turn off the pressure. Stop measuring your value by your output. You are not a machine. You are not meant to run 24/7. You are designed to move in cycles. Focus, then release, strive, then restore. That rhythm is how you build endurance. You don't need a week-long vacation to recharge. Sometimes 15 minutes of silence can reset your entire afternoon. A full night of undisturbed sleep can make you twice as effective tomorrow. But you have to make that space. No one will give it to you, and if you've gone months or even years without real rest, it will feel foreign at first. You'll feel restless. You might even feel guilty. That's just the addiction to constant motion trying to pull you back in. Let it pass. Stay still. You'll find your strength again in the silence. Recovery doesn't slow you down. It sharpens your next move. It lets you think more clearly, act more confidently, and adapt more effectively. The people who build sustainable momentum are not the ones who never pause. They are the ones who pause early, pause often, and come back stronger. They know that burnout doesn't just kill motivation, it kills progress, and the only way to avoid it is to treat rest as a responsibility. Every time you stop to breathe, reflect, and recharge, you build a deeper foundation, a steadier mind, a more resilient spirit. And when you return to your work, you do it from a place of strength, not survival. This is how you stop spiraling. This is how you regain control. Not by pushing through every moment, but by learning when to pull back. Protect your rest like your future depends on it, because it does. No goal is worth sacrificing your health, your peace, or your clarity. Rest is not the enemy of achievement. It's the fuel behind it. Every major breakthrough you'll ever have will come after a moment of renewal. You need time to think, to recover, to realign. Don't wait until you're too exhausted to move. Schedule your rest now. Make it sacred. Let it become your hidden advantage in a world that never stops moving. That's how you move forward with power, purpose, and peace. Chapter 9. Work in blocks to stay focused and effective. When you spread your attention across too many things at once, you dilute your ability to perform with precision. One of the most powerful ways to stay clear, sharp, and efficient throughout your day is to divide your time into focused blocks. Not everything requires your energy at the same time. Not every task deserves equal mental bandwidth. When you move from one thing to another, without boundaries, you enter a mental fog that drains both your output and your confidence. That's why working in blocks is not just a tactic. It's a way to reclaim your focus from the chaos. Most people approach their day like a juggler on autopilot. They flip between tabs, answer every ping, jump from one meeting to the next, and wonder why they end the day feeling unfulfilled. There's no sense of completion, no rhythm of progress. Their brain never gets the chance to dive deep, because it's always switching. And switching mentally is one of the most exhausting, unproductive things we can do. Each transition costs time. Each interruption breaks momentum. That's why even long work hours often produce minimal results. But when you choose to dedicate fixed time blocks to specific activities, you reverse this. You begin to train your mind to engage fully rather than scatter across dozens of competing inputs. In a focused block, your brain settles in. It knows what matters in that moment. It aligns your energy with your intention. You no longer skim the surface, you go deeper. You move faster, and you finish stronger. Working in blocks gives you clarity because it removes the need to constantly decide what's next. Decision fatigue creeps in when your day lacks structure. But with blocks, the structure makes those decisions for you. From the start of each session, you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing and for how long. That removes hesitation. It frees you to give full attention to the task in front of you. It reduces friction and raises your standard. Think of each block as a protected zone, a time where distractions don't belong. Multitasking has no place, and your mind is free to focus on one thing that matters. This way of working doesn't just increase productivity, it builds discipline. You begin to train yourself to concentrate. You start valuing depth over busyness. You no longer seek the temporary thrill of checking off easy tasks. You chase meaningful progress. That's how real results are made. It's not about making your entire day rigid. It's about being deliberate with how you spend your most productive hours. You can still be flexible, but your flexibility has to serve your focus, not sabotage it. When you design your day with intention, you protect your most valuable asset, your attention, and attention, when concentrated, becomes a force multiplier. It allows you to get more done in less time, with less stress, and more fulfillment. Some blocks will be longer, others will be short. The point is not perfection. The point is presence. When you set aside 90 minutes to work on a single important project, and you give it your full focus, you'll often make more progress than in an entire distracted afternoon. Because focus isn't about time alone. It's about the quality of your energy within that time. You'll also notice that when you begin to work in blocks, you build momentum. Each focused session fuels the next. You get a sense of completion that boosts confidence. Your goals stop feeling distant because you're actually making visible progress every single day, and that progress reinforces the habit. It shows you that you don't need more hours, you need more intensity in the hours you already have. The key is to start simple. Choose 1 or 2 important tasks for the day, and assign them focused blocks of time. During those blocks, remove everything that doesn't support your work. Put your phone away, shut down notifications, let people know you're unavailable. Give yourself permission to be unavailable to the world for a short time, so you can be fully available to your goals. You're not being selfish, you're being intentional. As this rhythm becomes familiar, you'll find that your mental clarity improves. You'll stop feeling overwhelmed by the mountain of to-dos because you're steadily moving forward with structure. Each block becomes a step. Each step becomes progress. The days start to feel more under your control. And when you work with this kind of control, you stop rushing. You stop scrambling. You start executing with calm determination. Your brain thrives on rhythm. It doesn't need chaos to create. It needs consistent spaces to focus, to think, and to produce. The more often you create those spaces, the stronger your focus becomes. You become less reactive to noise and more committed to what actually drives results. You don't get pulled into low-value distractions because your time is already spoken for. And when your time has purpose, your energy rises to meet that purpose. Even on tough days, especially on tough days, structured work blocks protect you from the feeling of spinning in circles. They remind you that progress is not about speed, it's about direction. You could be doing 50 things poorly or doing 5 things exceptionally. The difference lies in your focus, and focus is built 1 block at a time. You may not feel productive every minute, but that's not the goal. The goal is to create consistency. A single hour of focused work, repeated daily, will outperform random effort scattered over a week. That consistency compounds. It becomes your advantage. It keeps your goals moving, even when life is unpredictable, because no matter what happens outside your control, your blocks remain a place where you take command of your time. Working in blocks also gives you boundaries. It prevents your work from bleeding into every corner of your day. You know when to start, and just as importantly, you know when to stop. That prevents burnout. It lets you rest without guilt, because you know you've already honored your priorities. You've done the work that matters most. The rest of the day doesn't carry that invisible weight of "I should still be working." You can recharge, reflect, and return stronger. This isn't about working harder. It's about working wiser. By creating defined periods of deep effort, you allow yourself to be fully present, fully effective, and fully engaged. The scattered way of working might feel normal, but it's draining your potential. The focused way of working gives that potential a place to thrive. And once you experience the difference, you'll never want to go back. Chapter 10. Plan your day every night before you sleep. The way you end your day sets the tone for how you begin the next. Most people fall asleep carrying mental clutter, unfinished thoughts, vague intentions, and loose to-do lists floating in their heads. That fog carries over into the morning, making them reactive from the moment they open their eyes. But when you take a few quiet minutes before bed to plan the next day, you give your mind clarity and direction. You no longer wake up wondering what to do. You wake up knowing what matters. Planning the night before is a habit that saves you from decision fatigue in the morning. Instead of starting your day in uncertainty, you begin with a roadmap. You already know where to focus, what to avoid, and what the key priorities are. This gives you an edge. It means you don't waste your highest energy hours scrambling or switching between unimportant tasks. You move straight into meaningful action. Your brain needs closure before it can truly rest. When your mind is filled with open loops, it stays alert. It keeps processing in the background. That's why unplanned days create restless nights. But when you plan before sleep, you tell your brain, this is handled, this is what tomorrow looks like. That mental closure leads to deeper rest. And deeper rest means sharper focus in the morning. This doesn't have to be a complicated process. In fact, the simpler your nightly planning ritual, the more likely you'll stick with it. Just take a few minutes to reflect on what didn't get done today, what needs your attention tomorrow, and what your top priority will be. Write it down. Clarity written on paper becomes a contract with your future self. It keeps you anchored, especially when distractions try to pull you away from your purpose. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. Daily planning keeps you grounded. It stops you from loading your schedule with 10 competing goals and instead helps you focus on 2 or 3 things that truly move you forward. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most, with intention and consistency. You'll notice that when you begin planning each night, your mornings feel lighter. You're not reaching for direction, you already have it. You don't need motivation to get started, because your next step is already waiting for you. That forward motion gives you a sense of momentum before the day even begins. It puts you in a position of leadership over your time, instead of being pulled in a dozen different directions. The world is full of noise. Every day is filled with invitations to do more, respond faster, and stretch thinner. But when you've already decided what matters tomorrow, you protect your energy from those distractions. You have a filter. You're not choosing from scratch every hour. You're simply executing what you've already committed to. That's powerful. That's what separates the consistent from the chaotic. This nightly habit also helps you track your own progress. It gives you a rhythm. You start to see patterns, where your energy is strongest, what tends to derail you, and which types of tasks you procrastinate on. That insight allows you to adjust and grow. You're not just working hard, you're working with awareness. And awareness, combined with action, is what leads to transformation. When you go to sleep with a plan, you give your subconscious mind a job. It begins preparing you mentally for the next day. It clears the mental desk so you're not waking up to disorder. You've already cleared the fog before sunrise. That allows you to start strong, which creates a positive ripple effect throughout the rest of the day. Even on days when things don't go as planned, this habit keeps you anchored. You may not follow the plan exactly, but having a structure means you never feel lost. You can reset quickly. You can adapt with clarity. That flexibility within structure is what gives you long-term resilience. Life will always throw surprises, but when you have a habit of planning each night, you're never completely thrown off course. The truth is, success isn't created in big leaps. It's built quietly in the small decisions you make consistently. Planning your day the night before might seem minor, but it creates a huge impact over time. It's one of those simple disciplines that few people take seriously, yet those who do often outperform, outlast, and outgrow their peers. Don't wait until you're exhausted to decide what tomorrow should look like. Take a few minutes before bed, before your mind starts to wind down, to sketch out your next day. Choose your top priorities. Define your time blocks. Anticipate where you might struggle, and plan how you'll overcome it. You're not writing a rigid schedule, you're crafting a guide that empowers your best effort. This habit also reduces anxiety. Much of what keeps people up at night isn't real, it's vague worry, but when you see your day clearly on paper, those worries shrink. You realize you don't need to solve everything at once. You just need to take the next right step, and knowing what that step is gives you peace. Planning the night before also helps you align your day with your values. It's easy to fill a day with noise, but when you pause and ask yourself, what actually matters to me right now, you begin to make choices that reflect your deeper goals. You stop living on autopilot. You start living on purpose. You'll find that the more consistent you are with this practice, the less overwhelmed you feel. You stop dreading busy days because you know they're not directionless. You've already decided what matters. That alone reduces stress. It gives you breathing room, and in that room, your best thinking emerges. At night, the world slows down. That's your moment to reflect, recalibrate, and refocus. You don't need a perfect system, just a pen, a notebook, and the willingness to be honest with yourself about how you want to show up tomorrow. That quiet moment of clarity becomes your foundation. It turns your intentions into action, and over time, those actions become your results. You don't have to plan every detail, but you do need to decide what matters most. You need to know what your time will be spent on and why. That's what separates a full calendar from a meaningful day, and that meaning is what keeps you consistent, even when things get difficult. So, take the time, make it a habit. Let your final act each day be an investment in your next one. Because when you go to bed with a plan, you wake up with purpose, and purpose is the most powerful alarm clock there is. Chapter 11. Build habits that save your time each day. Saving time each day isn't about luck or working faster. It's about building habits that protect your most valuable resource. When you create routines that run automatically, you reduce the mental energy spent on decision-making and avoid unnecessary delays. Habits are the invisible architecture of your day, shaping how you move, think, and respond without needing constant effort. Without intentional habits, your day becomes reactive and chaotic, leaving you exhausted and behind. But with deliberate habits, you set a foundation that consistently saves time and frees your mind to focus on what matters. The first step to building time-saving habits is to identify repetitive tasks that drain your energy. These might be small daily chores like checking emails, preparing meals, or organizing your workspace. On their own, they may seem harmless, but combined they take up large chunks of your day. Once you recognize these time drains, you can begin to systematize or simplify them. When you create a habit around a task, it becomes part of your daily rhythm, no longer something that steals your attention, but something you accomplish almost without thinking. Consistency is key. The power of habits lies in repetition. Doing the same small actions regularly rewires your brain to perform them with less effort. This doesn't mean doing everything perfectly, but focusing on steady progress. Even small improvements, repeated day after day, add up to huge time savings. Instead of debating whether to start a task, your habits take over and move you forward naturally. This is the difference between living in reaction and living by design. Eliminating unnecessary choices is one of the greatest time-saving benefits of habits. Every decision, no matter how small, consumes willpower. When you decide what to wear, what to eat, or when to exercise repeatedly every day, you burn mental energy that could be spent on more important work. But if you create a habit or routine around these activities, they become automatic. For example, setting out your clothes the night before or having a simple breakfast routine saves you from making these decisions in the morning rush. This frees your mind and reduces stress. Building habits that save time also requires identifying your triggers and cues. Habits don't happen in isolation. They are connected to events or moments that remind your brain to act. You might decide to review your daily tasks right after brushing your teeth, or to check emails first thing after your morning coffee. Linking new habits to existing ones creates a chain that makes it easier to remember and perform them consistently. These anchors give your habits structure and increase your chance of success. Another important factor is to make habits simple and achievable. Overcomplicating new routines leads to overwhelm and abandonment. Start with small steps that require little effort but build momentum. For instance, if you want to save time organizing your desk, begin by spending just 5 minutes at the end of each day tidying up. That small act becomes a habit and prevents clutter from piling up and wasting more time later. Gradually, these micro habits compound into a smoother, more efficient workflow. Accountability supports habit formation. Share your goals with someone you trust or use tools that remind and track your progress. When you commit publicly or monitor your consistency, you're more likely to follow through. Even simple checklists can reinforce discipline. The key is to celebrate small wins without letting imperfection derail you. Habits take time to form, and persistence matters more than speed. Habits that save time don't just improve efficiency, they build momentum for personal growth. When you automate basic tasks, you create mental space for creativity and problem solving. You reduce stress caused by constant interruptions or last-minute rushes. You gain confidence because you know you have control over your routine, and that confidence fuels further action, creating a positive cycle. Reflection is essential to refining your habits. Regularly review which routines are working and which ones aren't serving you. Life changes, and your habits must adapt. If a habit becomes ineffective or feels burdensome, adjust it. The goal is progress, not perfection. Be flexible and patient with yourself. Sometimes dropping a habit that no longer fits your goals is the best way to save time and energy. Technology can be both a help and a hindrance in building habits. Use apps, reminders, and automation wisely to support your routines, but avoid distractions. For example, set timers to limit time spent on social media, or use calendar alerts to prompt habit completion. Automation tools can handle repetitive digital tasks, like bill payments or email filtering, freeing your time further. However, be mindful not to become dependent on gadgets that fragment your attention. Prioritizing habits that align with your highest goals ensures that the time you save is invested wisely. Habits around health, focus, and organization often create the biggest impact. Simple practices like consistent exercise, daily planning, and decluttering have ripple effects on your productivity and well-being. When these foundational habits become automatic, they support all other areas of your life. Building habits that save your time each day is a long-term investment in your freedom. These small routines protect you from burnout, overwhelm, and distraction. They create a steady flow of progress instead of sporadic bursts. As habits become part of your identity, you no longer need to rely on willpower alone. Your habits do the work for you, carrying you forward even on low motivation days. This shift from effortful to effortless action is the hallmark of successful time management. Start now by choosing one habit to build this week. Make it simple, tie it to an existing routine, and track your consistency. Watch how that one small change can free minutes and reduce stress. Then add another habit the next week. Over time, you'll create a network of habits that protect your time and propel you toward your goals. Habits are not just small actions, they are the foundation for mastery over your life and time. When you build them thoughtfully and persistently, you unlock a level of focus and efficiency that transforms every day. Chapter 12. Use timers to stay locked into deep work. Using timers to anchor your focus is one of the most practical and effective ways to enter a state of deep work. Deep work is when you fully immerse yourself in a single task without interruption or distraction. This kind of intense concentration allows you to produce your best work in less time. Timers create a boundary for this focus. They give your brain a clear signal about when to begin and when to rest. Without such boundaries, attention tends to drift, and productivity suffers. The beauty of using a timer is that it breaks down your work into manageable chunks. When you commit to working with full concentration for a set period, such as 25 or 50 minutes, your brain can sustain focus without overwhelming fatigue. Knowing there is a timer counting down creates a sense of urgency and accountability. You are more likely to resist distractions and give your complete attention to the task at hand. This focused effort is far more productive than scattered or multitasked work. Timers also help combat procrastination. When a task feels too big or daunting, committing to just a short interval, say 15 minutes, feels much more achievable. The timer removes the pressure of needing to work endlessly and makes the effort feel more manageable. Once you start, momentum often builds naturally, and you may choose to continue past the timer. The timer therefore becomes a tool to overcome resistance and trigger action. Another benefit is the clear separation between work and rest periods. Timers can be paired with scheduled breaks, allowing you to recharge your mind and body regularly. These breaks prevent burnout and keep your focus sharp over long periods. When you know a rest is coming, it's easier to fully engage during the work block. This balance creates sustainable productivity and prevents the exhaustion that often comes with marathon work sessions. Choosing the right timer interval depends on your personal rhythm and the nature of your work. Some find the Pomodoro technique effective, working for 25 minutes followed by a 5-minute break. Others prefer longer periods of deep work, such as 50 or 90 minutes, followed by a longer rest. Experimentation helps find what suits you best. The key is to keep the work blocks long enough to achieve flow, but short enough to maintain intense focus. Using a timer changes your mindset around work. It shifts your attention from how long you have to work to how fully you can focus during the allotted time. This shift enhances your sense of control and reduces anxiety about having an endless to-do list. Instead of drifting aimlessly, you become intentional about your energy and attention. The timer is your guide, creating a container for disciplined effort. Timers also serve as a boundary against distractions. When you set a timer and commit to work, you are more likely to say no to interruptions, both external and internal. External distractions like notifications, emails, and social media lose their power because you've created a focused zone protected by time. Internal distractions, such as wandering thoughts or multitasking impulses, are easier to recognize and resist within this time frame. Pairing timers with a dedicated workspace amplifies their effectiveness. When you associate a specific environment with timed work sessions, your brain begins to anticipate focus during those periods. This association helps you enter deep work more quickly and consistently. Over time, starting a timer can become a ritual that signals your mind to switch into a productive mode, making it easier to maintain attention and flow. Keeping a record of your timed work sessions provides valuable feedback. Tracking how many intervals you complete and what you accomplish during them helps you understand your productivity patterns. You learn when your focus peaks and when it wanes. This awareness allows you to schedule your most demanding tasks during your strongest focus periods and reserve simpler tasks for lower energy times. Timers also encourage you to set clear goals for each session. When the clock is running, you naturally focus on what can be realistically achieved within the time frame. This leads to breaking larger projects into smaller, actionable steps that fit into your timed blocks. The combination of clear goals and a ticking timer keeps your mind anchored in the present task, avoiding overwhelm and procrastination. Implementing timers requires commitment and discipline, but the payoff is significant. It transforms your work habits, turning scattered effort into focused productivity. You'll notice that tasks get done faster and with higher quality. Your mental fatigue decreases because your work is organized around rest and recovery. You build confidence in your ability to concentrate deeply and consistently. Technology offers many timer tools to support this practice, from simple kitchen timers to smartphone apps designed specifically for deep work. Choose a tool that fits your preferences and is easy to use. The simpler the tool, the less likely it will distract you or interrupt your flow. Remember, the timer is not the goal, it's the instrument that helps you build sustainable focus. If distractions sneak in during a timed session, gently acknowledge them and bring your attention back to the task. The timer gives you permission to focus without guilt. It reminds you that focus is a practice, not perfection. Each session is an opportunity to strengthen your concentration muscle. Over time, these short bursts of dedicated work become a powerful habit that elevates your entire productivity. Using timers to lock into deep work also increases your sense of accomplishment. Completing a focused session gives immediate feedback and satisfaction. This positive reinforcement motivates you to continue the practice. As deep work sessions accumulate, you create meaningful progress on your goals. The feeling of moving steadily forward replaces frustration and overwhelm. Timers are not only useful for work, but can be applied to other areas of life where focus is needed: studying, creative pursuits, exercise, or even mindfulness practice. Applying this technique broadly builds your ability to concentrate in different contexts. This mental strength spills over into your professional and personal life, making you more resilient and effective. This approach also encourages respect for your own time. When you see how much you can achieve within focused intervals, you value your attention more deeply. You become less likely to waste time on trivial distractions. You learn to guard your work periods like precious assets, ensuring that when you commit, you give your best. Timers simplify time management by providing structure without rigidity. You decide what to work on and for how long, and the timer keeps you honest to that commitment. This balance between freedom and discipline creates a productive flow that is both efficient and fulfilling. Incorporating timers into your routine is a step toward mastering your attention and time. It empowers you to work smarter, not harder. It fosters resilience by combining effort with rest. And most importantly, it helps you reclaim your ability to focus deeply on what truly matters. Through consistent use of timers, you build a sustainable rhythm that transforms how you approach every task, every day. Chapter 13. Review your week to spot wins and mistakes. Taking the time to review your week is one of the most powerful habits for continuous improvement and effective time management. Without reflection, it's easy to lose sight of what's working and what's holding you back. A weekly review helps you step back from the daily grind to assess your progress honestly and intentionally. This process illuminates your wins, exposes your mistakes, and sets a clear path forward. It's an essential practice to ensure that your efforts are aligned with your goals and that you're learning and growing from each experience. The first step in a meaningful weekly review is to carve out dedicated time for it. This isn't something to do hurriedly or on the fly. Set aside a quiet space and a specific time each week when you can fully focus without interruptions. This ritual signals to your mind that reflection is important. Over time, this routine builds discipline and makes reviewing an integral part of your productivity. The consistency of this habit is what transforms scattered effort into strategic progress. During the review, begin by acknowledging your wins. Too often, people focus solely on what didn't go right, which can be demotivating and unproductive. Recognizing your successes, even small ones, builds confidence and reinforces positive behaviors. Celebrate what you accomplished, no matter how modest. This positive reinforcement strengthens your motivation and reminds you that progress is possible. Wins provide clues about your strengths and where your focus pays off most. Equally important is a clear-eyed look at mistakes or missed opportunities. This isn't about self-criticism or blame, but about learning. When you identify what didn't work, you gain valuable insight into the obstacles and habits that slow you down. Maybe you overcommitted, got distracted, or underestimated the time required for certain tasks. Pinpointing these issues helps you avoid repeating them. The goal is to cultivate awareness that leads to better decisions next week. A thorough weekly review involves examining how you spent your time. Look at your schedule, your task lists, and your actual accomplishments. Ask yourself which activities added value and which drained your energy without producing meaningful results. This honest assessment reveals patterns where your time leaks occur, which distractions dominate, and which routines serve you best. This data is essential for refining your time management and making intentional adjustments. Reflecting on your mindset and energy levels throughout the week is equally valuable. Notice when you felt most focused and energized versus when you felt tired or overwhelmed. Understanding these rhythms allows you to plan future work in a way that aligns with your natural peaks. Scheduling demanding tasks when your energy is highest and simpler tasks during low-energy times maximizes efficiency and reduces burnout. As part of the review, revisit your goals and priorities. Are your weekly actions moving you closer to your bigger objectives? Sometimes it's easy to get caught up in urgent but unimportant tasks. The weekly review helps you realign with what truly matters. Adjust your upcoming plans based on your reflections to ensure that your daily work consistently serves your long-term vision. This practice also encourages accountability to yourself. When you track progress and setbacks weekly, you create a feedback loop that keeps you honest. It's a moment to confront distractions, excuses, or procrastination patterns that undermine your efforts. Facing these challenges openly is a key step toward growth and greater self-discipline. The act of reviewing cultivates a mindset of responsibility and ownership over your time and outcomes. A comprehensive weekly review should include planning your next week with intention. Use your insights to set realistic goals and priorities. Build in strategies to overcome the obstacles you identified. This forward-looking aspect ensures that your review isn't just about reflection, but also about actionable change. You're not stuck in the past. You're using it to improve your future. Including gratitude in your review adds emotional balance. Recognizing positive experiences and progress fosters resilience and keeps you motivated. Gratitude shifts your focus from shortcomings to opportunities. It helps maintain a positive mindset, which is crucial for sustained effort and success. Documenting your weekly review in writing increases its impact. Whether you keep a journal, use an app, or jot notes on paper, recording your reflections helps clarify your thoughts and track your journey over time. Written records provide a reference point to see how far you've come and remind you of lessons learned. This archive becomes a personal roadmap for continuous improvement. The weekly review process sharpens your decision-making skills. With regular reflection, you become more adept at spotting what deserves your time and energy. You learn to say no to distractions and yes to priorities that advance your goals. This clarity reduces stress and helps you focus on the tasks that generate the most value. Building the habit of weekly review requires patience and commitment. The first few sessions might feel unfamiliar or time-consuming, but as you practice, it becomes quicker and more intuitive. The benefits multiply as your self-awareness grows and your time management improves. This practice turns chaos into order and intention into results. A consistent weekly review also fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks happen. By regularly stepping back to assess and adapt, you become better prepared to handle challenges. You develop flexibility without losing sight of your purpose. This resilience is essential for long-term success and well-being. Sharing your weekly insights with a mentor, coach, or accountability partner can further enhance your growth. External perspectives can highlight blind spots and provide encouragement. Knowing someone else will review your progress can boost your commitment and discipline. Ultimately, the weekly review is a powerful tool to close the gap between intention and action. It transforms vague aspirations into concrete progress by creating space for reflection, learning, and adjustment. This cycle of review and refinement leads to steady momentum toward your goals. It keeps your time management sharp and your efforts focused. Incorporating a weekly review into your routine is a practical investment in yourself. It deepens your understanding of how you work, where your strengths lie, and what changes are needed. This insight empowers you to manage your time like the successful, deliberate, focused, and continuously improving. The review is not just a look back, it's the key to moving forward with clarity and confidence every week. Chapter 14. Create systems for tasks you repeat every day. Creating systems for tasks you repeat daily is a game changer for managing your time effectively and increasing your productivity. When you handle recurring activities in a structured way, you reduce the mental load required to start and complete them. Systems turn repetitive tasks into predictable, efficient processes that you don't have to reinvent every time. Instead of wasting energy on deciding how to approach a task or what steps to take, you follow a clear routine that moves things forward smoothly and quickly. This consistency creates space for deeper focus on work that requires creativity and problem-solving. The key advantage of systems is that they automate decision-making. When you build a system, you're essentially designing a step-by-step method that outlines exactly what to do and when. This clarity removes hesitation and guesswork. Instead of wondering how to begin or what comes next, you simply follow the process. This not only saves time, but also reduces stress because you know exactly what to expect and how to proceed. Start by identifying the tasks you do repeatedly each day. These might include checking emails, preparing meals, planning your day, tidying your workspace, or handling customer service responses. Writing down each step you currently take to complete these tasks reveals opportunities for simplification and improvement. This analysis is the foundation of building efficient systems. You want to strip away any unnecessary steps and create a flow that is both logical and fast. Design your system so it requires minimal effort to maintain. The best systems are simple, clear, and easy to follow consistently. Overly complex routines are hard to stick to and eventually get abandoned. For example, if you check emails multiple times a day, create a system where you only check at set times and use filters or templates to manage responses quickly. This routine helps prevent distractions and frees up time for focused work. Use tools and technology to support your systems whenever possible. Automation apps, calendar reminders, templates, and checklists are all valuable allies in creating smooth workflows. For instance, scheduling social media posts in advance or setting automatic bill payments can reduce your daily task list dramatically. The goal is to let systems do the heavy lifting so you can focus your energy where it counts most. Once a system is in place, stick to it until it becomes a habit. Repetition builds familiarity and efficiency. The more you follow a system, the faster and more effortless the task becomes. Systems turn mundane work into almost automatic actions, saving precious time and mental energy each day. Evaluate your systems regularly to keep them effective. Life changes, and so do priorities and tools. What worked a month ago might need tweaking or upgrading. Periodic reviews help you spot bottlenecks or outdated steps. This continuous improvement keeps your systems aligned with your goals and current circumstances. Another benefit of systems is that they make delegation easier. When your daily tasks are clearly documented and streamlined, it becomes simpler to hand them off to others when necessary. This flexibility allows you to focus on higher-level work while trusted team members or assistants manage routine tasks. Delegation increases your capacity and extends your impact. Creating systems also builds confidence. When you know exactly how to handle recurring challenges, you face them with less hesitation. Systems reduce anxiety caused by uncertainty and last-minute scrambling. You gain control over your day and reduce the chaos that often accompanies multitasking. Systems foster consistency, which is essential for long-term success. When your daily activities flow smoothly, you develop momentum. This momentum creates a positive feedback loop, where progress breeds motivation and motivation fuels continued effort. Consistency transforms scattered efforts into meaningful achievements. Building systems doesn't mean rigidity. Good systems allow for flexibility and adjustments. You can customize steps based on specific situations while maintaining the core structure. This balance between order and adaptability is crucial for handling the unpredictable nature of daily life. Start small by creating a system for one repetitive task. Document the process, simplify it, and apply it consistently. Once that system is working well, move on to another task. Gradually, you will develop a network of efficient systems that support your entire day. This layered approach makes the process manageable and less overwhelming. Remember that systems free your mental bandwidth. When you don't have to plan or think deeply about routine tasks, your brain is freed to tackle complex problems and creative projects. This mental clarity is one of the greatest benefits of effective systems. Over time, you'll notice how much time and energy you save through well-built systems. Tasks that once felt like obstacles become routine steps. Your workflow becomes smoother and more predictable. This stability reduces stress and enhances your ability to focus on what truly matters. Systems also improve the quality of your work. When you have a reliable process, you reduce errors and improve efficiency. Predictable routines create a foundation for excellence because you spend less time fixing mistakes and more time producing consistent results. In addition, systems make your progress visible. When tasks are organized and documented, you can track completion and measure effectiveness. This transparency allows you to celebrate wins and identify areas for growth. Seeing your progress builds motivation and reinforces good habits. Finally, creating systems is a way of respecting your time. It shows that you value efficiency and are intentional about how you spend your day. This respect leads to greater self-discipline and empowers you to maintain focus amid distractions. Building systems for daily tasks transforms how you manage your time. It moves you from reactive and fragmented work to proactive and streamlined action. Systems conserve your mental energy, reduce stress, and create a steady flow of progress. By investing effort in developing and maintaining these systems, you unlock a powerful way to manage time, like the successful, and create a life of consistent achievement. Chapter 15. Limit decisions by setting personal rules and standards. Limiting decisions by setting personal rules and standards is one of the most effective strategies for mastering your time and energy. Every choice you make, no matter how small, drains your mental resources. When faced with constant decisions throughout the day, your willpower and focus weaken, leaving you vulnerable to distractions and poor choices. By establishing clear guidelines for yourself, you reduce the number of decisions you have to make daily, preserving your energy for the most important tasks. Personal rules act as guardrails that simplify your day and provide clarity, helping you avoid decision fatigue. Decision fatigue happens because your brain's capacity to make good choices is limited. After making many decisions, your ability to think clearly diminishes, leading to procrastination, impulsiveness, or avoidance. Setting standards for routine choices frees your mind from this burden. When your decisions are governed by predetermined principles, you don't waste time weighing options unnecessarily. Instead, you follow your rules confidently and move forward. Personal rules can be applied to many areas of life. For example, having a strict wake-up time every day eliminates the morning debate over whether to snooze or get up. Choosing a simple, consistent wardrobe reduces the effort spent deciding what to wear. Setting guidelines around what emails to answer immediately versus which to defer prevents constant interruptions. These rules create structure and minimize wasted time. Standards also improve the quality of your decisions. When you define what you accept and what you don't, you create boundaries that protect your priorities. For instance, deciding that you will only attend meetings that have a clear agenda and purpose saves hours of unproductive time. Saying no to tasks or requests that don't align with your values or goals becomes easier when you have firm standards. This clarity fosters discipline and focus. Creating rules for common scenarios reduces stress and uncertainty. Instead of reacting emotionally or indecisively, you act according to your principles. This builds confidence and steadiness. When faced with temptation or distractions, your personal rules serve as a compass guiding you back to what matters most. Over time, this consistency strengthens your self-control and resilience. A powerful personal rule is to limit the number of daily decisions to preserve mental energy. Prioritize decisions in advance whenever possible. Plan your meals, clothing, and schedule the night before. When you prepare ahead, your day flows with fewer interruptions. This preparation ensures that your energy is reserved for high-impact choices rather than trivial ones. Setting standards also supports time management by clarifying expectations for yourself and others. When you communicate your rules clearly, it reduces misunderstandings and pressure. For example, if you decide not to check work emails after a certain hour, informing colleagues helps set boundaries. These standards create respect for your time and reinforce your focus. It's important to keep personal rules, realistic and flexible. Rigid rules that are too demanding can backfire and cause frustration or burnout. The goal is to simplify your decision-making, not to create additional stress. Adjust your rules as needed to fit changing circumstances while maintaining their core purpose of protecting your time and attention. Start by identifying areas where decision-making drains your energy or leads to procrastination. Reflect on daily choices that feel overwhelming or repetitive. Then create simple guidelines for these situations. For example, decide that you will only spend 15 minutes on social media each day, or that you will reply to emails only twice daily. Small rules like these quickly add up to significant time savings. Once rules are established, hold yourself accountable. Track how well you follow your guidelines and note the benefits. Notice how much easier it becomes to stay focused when you eliminate unnecessary decisions. Use any lapses as learning opportunities rather than excuses. Building discipline around personal standards is a skill that grows stronger with practice. Limiting decisions frees your mind to focus on creative problem-solving and strategic thinking. When you aren't bogged down by countless small choices, you have more capacity to innovate and plan. This mental clarity enhances your overall productivity and satisfaction with your work and life. Personal rules also cultivate consistency, a key ingredient for success. When you follow your standards daily, you develop habits that align with your goals. These habits reduce the chance of distraction and increase your reliability. Consistency builds trust in yourself and establishes a foundation for long-term achievement. A life governed by clear rules fosters simplicity and peace. Instead of wrestling with indecision or second-guessing, you act with purpose. This sense of control reduces anxiety and creates space for calm focus. Knowing your limits and sticking to them empowers you to navigate your day with intention. In addition to personal rules, establish non-negotiable standards for critical activities. For example, committing to a minimum of 1 hour of focused work before checking messages sets a tone of discipline. Deciding that exercise is a daily priority regardless of schedule helps maintain energy. These non-negotiables anchor your routine and create momentum. The process of defining your personal rules requires honest self-assessment. Understand what drains your time and energy and what aligns with your values. This clarity helps you design standards that support your best life. It's an ongoing process of refinement and adjustment to fit your evolving goals. Using personal rules to limit decisions is not about restriction, but empowerment. It liberates your mind from overload and directs your energy toward meaningful work. By reducing unnecessary choices, you gain focus, reduce stress, and enhance your productivity. This approach turns decision-making from a drain into a tool for success. The impact of these rules extends beyond time management. They build character, resilience, and self-respect. Living by your standards means taking ownership of your life and choices. This ownership fuels motivation and deepens commitment to your goals. Incorporate decision-limiting rules gradually. Test which guidelines fit your lifestyle and improve your focus. Celebrate small victories when you successfully adhere to your rules. Over time, these standards become second nature, making your day smoother and more intentional. Ultimately, setting personal rules and standards is a powerful way to manage your time like the successful. It simplifies your day, preserves your mental energy, and sharpens your focus. This practice turns the chaos of constant decisions into a clear path of disciplined action and progress. When you control your decisions, you control your life. Chapter 16. Keep your workspace clean to sharpen your focus. A clean workspace plays a crucial role in sharpening your focus and boosting productivity. When your environment is cluttered and disorganized, It drains your mental energy and makes it harder to concentrate on the task at hand. Visual distractions constantly pull your attention away from your work, creating a scattered mindset. Conversely, a tidy, well-organized space fosters clarity, calm, and efficiency. It sets a tone of discipline and respect for your time, helping you enter a state of flow more easily. Keeping your workspace clean is not just about aesthetics. It directly impacts how your brain functions. Clutter creates a subtle but persistent cognitive load because your mind registers every visible item as a potential distraction. This background noise consumes your attention without you even realizing it. When your surroundings are orderly, your brain can allocate full resources to focus on your priorities, leading to deeper concentration and better performance. A clean workspace supports the principle of intentionality in your daily routine. It signals to yourself that you are prepared and ready to work seriously. This psychological cue helps transition your mind from relaxation or distraction into productive mode. When you sit down at a desk free from unnecessary items, your brain naturally narrows its focus. This preparation reduces procrastination and enhances motivation to start and maintain effort. The process of cleaning and organizing your workspace can also be a mindful practice. Taking a few minutes before or after work to put things in order grounds you in the present moment and clears mental clutter as well. This physical act of tidying can reduce stress and create a sense of accomplishment. It's a small ritual that prepares your mind to engage fully with your tasks. Creating a system for workspace organization is essential to maintain cleanliness consistently. Establish designated places for your most used items, such as pens, notebooks, chargers, and documents. Use trays, drawers, or organizers to keep everything accessible yet out of sight. Avoid letting papers pile up or tools scatter across your desk. This system reduces the time wasted searching for things and minimizes distractions. Digital clutter in your workspace matters too. Keep your computer desktop and folders organized with clear labels and minimal files visible. Close unnecessary tabs and applications to prevent digital distractions from breaking your concentration. Your physical and digital environments should work together to create a seamless and focused workspace. Cleaning your workspace regularly prevents clutter from building up. Set a specific time each day or week dedicated to tidying. Consistency in this habit ensures that clutter doesn't accumulate and overwhelm you. It also reinforces discipline and respect for your work environment. Over time, maintaining cleanliness becomes effortless and automatic. A clean workspace improves your ability to prioritize and manage tasks. When your environment is organized, it's easier to keep your to-do list visible and actionable. You can arrange materials in order of importance or sequence. This clarity supports efficient workflow and reduces the chaos that comes from juggling too many items at once. Workspace cleanliness also influences your emotional state. An orderly environment promotes calmness and reduces anxiety. When everything has its place and your desk is free of distractions, your mind feels more at ease. This emotional balance helps sustain long periods of focused work without feeling overwhelmed. In addition, a tidy workspace reflects your professionalism and self-respect. It communicates to others that you value your work and take your responsibilities seriously. Whether you work from home or in an office, this attitude fosters confidence and discipline. This mindset is essential for cultivating a productive and growth-oriented approach to your tasks. Keeping your workspace clean supports time management by eliminating wasted moments spent dealing with disorder. Searching for misplaced items or clearing distractions takes time away from productive work. A well-maintained space reduces these interruptions and allows you to start work immediately with clarity and purpose. Creating a minimalist workspace can further enhance focus. Limit the number of objects on your desk to essentials only. Avoid unnecessary decorations or gadgets that draw your attention. This simplicity keeps your mind free from visual noise and distractions. A minimalist setup prioritizes function over form and promotes efficiency. Personalize your workspace carefully to create a motivating environment without clutter. Small meaningful items such as a plant, a motivational quote, or a family photo can boost mood and inspiration. However, balance is key to ensure these items don't interfere with your focus. Intentional personalization supports emotional well-being while maintaining productivity. Ergonomics is also an important aspect of workspace organization. Arrange your desk, chair, and computer setup to promote comfort and reduce physical strain. A comfortable workspace minimizes fatigue and distraction caused by discomfort or pain. When your body is supported properly, your mind can stay focused longer. A clean workspace supports better decision-making. When your environment is clear, you avoid the overwhelm that clutter creates. This clarity allows you to prioritize tasks effectively and make thoughtful choices. The simplicity in your surroundings reflects and reinforces simplicity in your workflow and thinking. Creating a habit of workspace cleanliness also builds discipline that spills over into other areas of your life. The self-control and intentionality developed through this practice strengthen your overall productivity habits. This consistency helps you manage your time more effectively and maintain focus in varied situations. The relationship between a clean workspace and productivity is backed by research. Studies show that cluttered environments negatively affect the ability to focus and process information. Clean spaces, on the other hand, encourage creative thinking and reduce stress hormones. Knowing this connection provides additional motivation to maintain your workspace. When you prepare your workspace at the start of the day, you set yourself up for success. A quick tidy before beginning work signals readiness and focus. It creates a mental boundary between downtime and productive time. This transition is crucial for entering deep work and sustaining momentum throughout the day. At the end of the day, resetting your workspace clears the slate for tomorrow. This simple act prevents carryover clutter and reduces morning decision fatigue. Starting each day with a clean desk cultivates a fresh mindset and readiness to tackle new challenges. Keeping your workspace clean is a tangible way to respect your time and effort. It eliminates obstacles to productivity and promotes a mindset of discipline and clarity. This habit sharpens your focus by creating an environment that supports sustained attention and effective work. In conclusion, maintaining a clean workspace is a fundamental practice for managing your time like the successful. It reduces distractions, conserves mental energy, and enhances emotional calm. A tidy, organized environment fosters clarity, discipline, and flow. By investing in the simple habit of workspace cleanliness, you create the foundation for consistent focus and lasting productivity. Chapter 17. Learn to delegate what others can do faster. Learning to delegate what others can do faster is a crucial skill for anyone serious about managing time like the successful. Many people fall into the trap of trying to do everything themselves, believing that this will guarantee quality or control. In reality, this approach often leads to overwhelm, burnout, and inefficient use of precious time. Delegation is not about offloading work carelessly. It's a strategic decision to focus your energy on the tasks that truly require your unique skills and attention. When you delegate wisely, you free yourself to operate at your highest level and accelerate progress toward your goals. The first step to effective delegation is identifying tasks that do not require your personal involvement. These are tasks that others can complete more quickly or just as well without your direct input. It could be administrative duties, routine follow-ups, research, or anything that does not require your specialized knowledge. Recognizing these tasks is a form of self-awareness and prioritization that separates urgent but low-value work from high-impact responsibilities. Delegating doesn't mean giving away control. It means entrusting others with responsibility and providing them the authority to complete the task. This requires clear communication about expectations, desired outcomes, and deadlines. When you are specific about what needs to be done and how, you reduce misunderstandings and increase the likelihood of success. Detailed instructions help others work independently and confidently, which saves you from constant oversight. Choosing the right person to delegate to is critical. Look for someone with the skills, experience, or willingness to learn the task efficiently. Sometimes, delegation involves training and coaching initially, but this investment pays off over time. A capable team or support system enhances your capacity exponentially. Surround yourself with people whose strengths complement yours and who can take on responsibilities that free up your time. Learning to let go of perfectionism is essential for delegation. Trying to control every detail or redo work wastes the time you sought to save. Accept that others might approach tasks differently or make minor mistakes. The goal is progress and efficiency, not micromanagement. Building trust in others' abilities is a form of empowerment that benefits everyone involved. Delegation also improves your leadership skills. It forces you to clarify goals, communicate effectively, and manage resources strategically. These skills strengthen your overall capacity to influence and inspire others. When you delegate well, you create a culture of collaboration and mutual support. This positive environment increases motivation and productivity for everyone. Delegating tasks that others can do faster allows you to focus on your zone of genius. This is where your unique talents, insights, and creativity drive the most value. Concentrating on high-level thinking, decision-making, and strategy leads to greater impact than trying to handle routine work yourself. This focus is the hallmark of successful time management and personal growth. Regularly review your task list to identify new opportunities for delegation. As your projects evolve, some responsibilities may shift from critical to routine. Being flexible and adaptive about what you delegate ensures that your energy is consistently aligned with your highest priorities. Avoid falling into the trap of keeping control out of habit rather than necessity. Use delegation to develop others' skills and confidence. Assign tasks that challenge and stretch their abilities while providing support and feedback. This approach benefits both parties by building a stronger, more capable team and freeing your time. Developing others is a long-term investment that enhances overall efficiency and success. Technology can support delegation by facilitating communication and task tracking. Use project management tools, shared calendars, and communication platforms to assign tasks clearly and monitor progress. These systems reduce the need for constant check-ins and make collaboration smoother. Technology enhances transparency and accountability in delegated work. Set boundaries around what you will and won't delegate. Some responsibilities are core to your role and require your direct involvement. Knowing these limits helps you maintain control over essential areas while entrusting other tasks appropriately. This balance keeps you connected to critical outcomes without getting bogged down in details. Learn to delegate decisively and promptly. Delaying delegation wastes time and increases your workload. When you recognize a task that someone else can do better or faster, assign it immediately. This habit prevents backlog and maintains momentum. Timely delegation is a proactive approach to managing workload. Accept that delegation is a continuous learning process. You will refine your skills as you gain experience and feedback. Each delegation opportunity teaches you more about effective communication, trust building, and prioritization. Embrace mistakes as part of growth and adjust your approach accordingly. Delegating also enhances your work-life balance. By sharing responsibilities, you reduce stress and free time for rest, creativity, and personal fulfillment. This balance is essential for sustaining productivity and long-term success. Recognizing that you don't have to do everything yourself is liberating and empowering. To delegate effectively, prepare to let go of ego and embrace collaboration. Success is not about doing everything yourself, but about leveraging collective strengths. This mindset shift transforms how you approach work and relationships. It encourages humility, trust, and mutual respect. Measure the results of delegation to ensure continuous improvement. Track whether tasks are completed on time and meet quality standards. Use this information to give constructive feedback and refine your delegation strategy. Monitoring outcomes keeps delegation aligned with your goals. Delegation is also about timing. Choose moments when others have capacity and focus. Assigning tasks during busy periods may lead to rushed or subpar results. Being mindful of workload and deadlines maximizes efficiency and quality. Building a delegation mindset requires patience and persistence. It may feel uncomfortable initially to rely on others fully. However, repeated practice reduces resistance and increases confidence in your ability to lead effectively. Over time, delegation becomes second nature and a core strength. Learning to delegate what others can do faster transforms how you manage your time. It amplifies your impact, builds strong teams, and creates sustainable productivity. This skill is essential for anyone aiming to operate at a high level consistently. Embracing delegation moves you from overwhelmed multitasker to focused leader. Ultimately, effective delegation is an act of strategic empowerment. It honors your time and energy by focusing them on what only you can do best. It cultivates growth in others while advancing your own progress. Mastering delegation is a vital step toward managing time, like the successful and creating lasting achievement. Chapter 18. Stop multitasking and do one thing with care. Multitasking might seem like a skill that increases productivity, but in reality, it often causes more harm than good. Trying to do multiple things at once scatters your attention and reduces the quality of your work. When you divide your focus, you make more mistakes, take longer to finish tasks, and feel mentally drained. Stopping multitasking and doing one thing with care is a powerful way to improve your efficiency and produce better results. This focused approach allows your mind to fully engage with a single task, leading to deeper understanding and higher quality output. The human brain is not designed to handle several complex tasks simultaneously. While switching quickly between tasks may appear efficient, it actually costs cognitive energy. Each time you switch focus, your brain needs to refocus, reload context, and reorient itself. This constant shifting is mentally exhausting and decreases overall productivity. Concentrating on one task at a time conserves mental energy and sharpens your abilities. Doing one thing with care means giving your full attention and effort to the task at hand. This approach helps you avoid careless mistakes that happen when you rush or divide your attention. When you slow down and focus deeply, you produce work that is more accurate, creative, and satisfying. Careful work builds confidence and reduces the need for corrections or rework later. Focusing on a single task also reduces stress. Multitasking often creates a sense of overwhelm as you try to juggle competing demands. This feeling of being pulled in different directions raises anxiety and disrupts your mental clarity. Concentrating on one task allows you to enter a calmer state of flow, making your work feel more manageable and enjoyable. To stop multitasking, start by identifying moments when you habitually switch between tasks. Notice triggers like notifications, interruptions, or internal urges to check emails or social media. Becoming aware of these patterns helps you take control over your focus. Awareness is the first step in breaking the multitasking habit. Create an environment that supports single tasking. Eliminate distractions by silencing devices, closing unrelated tabs, and organizing your workspace. Set clear boundaries around your time blocks to minimize interruptions. When your environment is controlled, it becomes easier to give your full attention to one task. Use techniques like the Pomodoro method to practice focused work. Work on a single task for a set period, such as 25 minutes, without switching, then take a short break before resuming or moving on. These focused intervals train your brain to concentrate and improve your ability to resist distractions. Prioritize tasks so you work on the most important one first. Clear priorities prevent the temptation to switch to easier or more appealing tasks. Knowing exactly what you should focus on builds discipline and direction. This clarity enhances your ability to work carefully and efficiently. Approach each task with intention and mindfulness. Before starting, clarify what success looks like for that task. Visualize completing it well and the satisfaction it brings. This mental preparation increases your commitment and sharpens your focus. Recognize that quality is more important than quantity. Producing fewer but better results has greater impact than rushing through many tasks. Taking care in your work reflects professionalism and respect for yourself and others. It builds a reputation for reliability and excellence. Be patient with yourself as you change your work habits. Letting go of multitasking requires consistent practice and self-compassion. Expect occasional lapses, but commit to returning to focused work. Over time, your ability to concentrate deeply will strengthen and multitasking urges will fade. Single tasking also enhances creativity and problem solving. When your mind is fully immersed, it makes connections and insights that multitasking prevents. Deep focus fosters innovation and allows you to produce your best work. Doing one thing with care leads to greater satisfaction. Completing a task fully and well gives a sense of accomplishment. This positive feeling motivates you to continue working with focus and intention. Satisfaction from quality work fuels a cycle of productivity and fulfillment. Use tools like checklists or journals to track your progress on individual tasks. This visibility reinforces your commitment and helps you celebrate small wins. Seeing tangible progress motivates you to maintain single-task focus. Practice saying no to distractions and unnecessary tasks. Protect your focused time by setting boundaries with colleagues and technology. When you guard your attention fiercely, you create space for meaningful work. Remember that multitasking wastes time in the long run. Switching tasks frequently can double the time required to complete each one. Focused effort reduces total work time and increases output quality. Efficiency improves when you give your full attention. Single tasking supports better memory retention. When you concentrate deeply, your brain encodes information more effectively. This clarity helps you recall details and apply knowledge accurately. Multitasking fragments memory and leads to forgetfulness. Approach your work with curiosity and care. Engage fully in the process rather than rushing to finish. This attitude transforms tasks from chores into opportunities for growth and learning. Set realistic goals for your focused work sessions. Break large projects into manageable parts and dedicate attention to one piece at a time. This approach prevents overwhelm and builds momentum. Celebrate your progress regularly to reinforce single-task habits. Acknowledge how focused work improves your results and reduces stress. Positive reinforcement encourages persistence. Teach others about the benefits of focusing on one thing. Share your experience to build a culture of deep work and respect for attention. Supporting others strengthens your own commitment. Adjust your schedule to allow for uninterrupted work periods. Avoid booking back-to-back meetings or overloading your day. Creating breathing room supports sustained focus and energy. Use reminders or alarms to bring your attention back when you drift. Gentle prompts help train your brain to stay present. Recognize the value of rest and recovery. Breaks are essential for maintaining focus and preventing burnout. Balance focused work with restorative pauses. Embrace the power of doing one thing with care as a daily practice. This simple shift transforms how you work and live. It builds mastery, satisfaction, and lasting success. By letting go of multitasking and dedicating your attention fully, you reclaim control over your time. Focused effort produces higher quality results in less time. This disciplined approach to work is a defining trait of successful people. The habit of single tasking strengthens your mind's ability to resist distractions and enhances your capacity for deep thought. This mental clarity is a foundation for effective decision-making and creativity. In summary, stopping multitasking and doing one thing with care is a practical and powerful strategy for managing your time like the successful. It reduces stress, improves quality, and increases productivity. This approach honors your mental energy and leads to meaningful progress every day. Commit to this practice with patience and consistency. Over time, you will experience the profound benefits of focused work. Your time will be used wisely, and your efforts will produce lasting results. This simple but profound change in how you work can transform your life. Chapter 19. Respect your calendar like a promise to yourself. Respecting your calendar like a promise to yourself is a transformative mindset that dramatically improves how you manage time. The calendar is more than a simple tool for listing appointments. It is a contract with your future self, a commitment to honor your priorities and protect your time. Treating your scheduled blocks as non-negotiable promises builds discipline and respect for your goals. When you hold this commitment firmly, you shift from reactive busyness to proactive intentionality. Your calendar reflects the value you place on your time and tasks. If you consistently reschedule, cancel, or ignore planned activities, you send a message to yourself that your goals are not a priority. This undermines your progress and self-confidence. Viewing your calendar as a sacred agreement encourages you to take ownership of your commitments and act with integrity. Each appointment or task slot becomes a promise you keep, reinforcing your reliability and self-respect. Planning your calendar thoughtfully ensures that your time aligns with your highest priorities. Instead of allowing your day to fill with random tasks or distractions, you deliberately allocate time for meaningful work, rest, learning, and personal growth. This clarity reduces decision fatigue because your day is already mapped out with intention. When you respect these plans, you stay focused and prevent time from slipping away unnoticed. Respecting your calendar also means guarding it fiercely. Say no to last-minute interruptions or requests that don't serve your priorities. This boundary protects your schedule and mental space, allowing you to execute your plans effectively. Treat every appointment as a valuable commitment that deserves your full attention and presence. Consistency in following your calendar cultivates trust with yourself. Each time you honor a scheduled commitment, you reinforce the belief that you can rely on yourself. This self-trust builds momentum for tackling bigger goals and complex projects. When your calendar becomes a source of reliability, you naturally boost your motivation and discipline. Respecting your calendar requires realistic scheduling. Avoid overloading your day with too many tasks or back-to-back appointments. Allow breathing room between commitments for transitions, rest, and unexpected needs. A balanced calendar reduces stress and keeps your energy steady throughout the day. When you schedule with kindness toward yourself, you increase the likelihood of keeping your promises. Use your calendar to create time blocks for focused work. Assigning specific periods for deep tasks reduces procrastination and distraction. This structure supports productivity by making your work time visible and respected. Treating these blocks as firm appointments helps you stay committed to focused effort. Viewing your calendar as a promise also applies to personal time. Schedule moments for rest, exercise, family, and hobbies with the same seriousness as work tasks. This balance nurtures well-being and prevents burnout. Honoring personal appointments strengthens your overall resilience and satisfaction. Track your calendar adherence regularly to understand your patterns. Reflect on commitments you keep versus those you postpone or cancel. This awareness helps you identify where your time is truly valued and where adjustments are needed. Use these insights to refine your scheduling habits and strengthen your promises. Embrace flexibility with discipline. Sometimes emergencies or genuine opportunities require calendar changes. When you must adjust, do so intentionally and reschedule promptly. Avoid casually dropping commitments or letting tasks slide. Flexibility combined with respect for your calendar keeps you balanced and reliable. A respected calendar improves collaboration. When you consistently honor your scheduled meetings and deadlines, others learn to trust your time. This builds professional credibility and smoother teamwork. Clear and respected boundaries in your calendar foster mutual respect in all relationships. Treat calendar reminders as trusted signals, not annoyances. Use alerts to prepare mentally for upcoming tasks or meetings. This preparation enhances your readiness and reduces last-minute stress. Viewing reminders as support rather than interruption aligns your mindset with respect for time. Create a daily ritual around your calendar. Review your schedule each morning or the night before to mentally commit to your plan. This ritual anchors your intentions and primes your focus. Engaging regularly with your calendar strengthens your connection to your promises. Avoid multitasking during calendar appointments. Fully engage in the scheduled activity, whether it's work, rest, or a meeting. This presence maximizes the value of your time and deepens your focus. Respecting your calendar means honoring the quality of each moment, not just its quantity. Use your calendar as a tool for empowerment. Instead of feeling trapped by obligations, view it as a framework that frees your mind from uncertainty. A respected calendar creates space for creativity and strategic thinking by reducing chaos and surprise. Set personal standards around your calendar commitments. Decide in advance what circumstances justify rescheduling or cancelling. Holding yourself accountable to these standards strengthens your discipline and reliability. Clear rules prevent casual disregard for your time. Honor your calendar by preparing ahead for appointments. Gather needed materials, plan talking points, or complete pre-prerecorded tasks. This preparation shows respect for the time allocated and ensures productive sessions. Preparation turns calendar blocks into successful milestones. Recognize the psychological effect of respecting your calendar. Following through builds confidence and reduces anxiety about deadlines. This emotional stability supports sustained effort and goal achievement. Your calendar becomes a tool for managing not just time, but also your mindset. Celebrate your adherence to your calendar. Acknowledge days or weeks when you kept your promises fully. Positive reinforcement encourages ongoing respect for your time commitments. This celebration fuels motivation to maintain discipline. Respecting your calendar is a form of self-leadership. It shows you are the captain of your time and choices. This ownership is empowering and creates momentum for further growth. When you lead yourself well, you attract opportunities and success. Use your calendar to reflect on your progress over weeks or months. Review how well you keep your promises and what improvements you can make. This long-term perspective turns your calendar into a growth tool, not just a scheduling device. Approach your calendar with gratitude for the opportunity to shape your time. This mindset transforms scheduling from a chore into a privilege. Valuing your calendar elevates your commitment and enhances your daily experience. Ultimately, respecting your calendar like a promise to yourself is a radical act of self-respect and discipline. It transforms your relationship with time from passive to active. This change empowers you to manage your life purposefully and achieve meaningful success. When you consistently honor your calendar, you cultivate a life marked by intention, focus, and balance. Your time becomes a trusted resource, and you become the master of your day. This practice is a cornerstone of managing time, like the successful. Chapter 20. Reflect daily to keep growing and moving forward. Taking time to reflect daily is one of the most powerful habits for continuous growth and forward momentum. Reflection is the act of stepping back from the busyness of life to honestly assess your thoughts, actions, and progress. It provides clarity on what is working, what needs improvement, and what changes to make moving forward. Without reflection, it's easy to repeat mistakes, lose sight of your goals, or get stuck in unproductive patterns. Daily reflection is a discipline that sharpens your self-awareness, enhances your decision-making, and fuels meaningful progress. When you commit to a daily reflection practice, you create a dedicated space to connect with yourself. This connection allows you to understand your motivations, emotions, and behaviors more deeply. Understanding your inner world equips you to make conscious choices rather than react impulsively. Reflection acts like a mirror, showing you your strengths to build on and areas where you can grow. This honest self-examination is essential for personal development and resilience. Daily reflection also encourages accountability. When you review your day regularly, you take responsibility for your actions and results. This accountability helps you recognize when you are off track and motivates you to adjust course. It transforms vague intentions into concrete learning opportunities. Owning your progress empowers you to celebrate wins and address challenges proactively. The process of reflection does not need to be complicated or time-consuming. Even a few minutes each day spent asking yourself simple questions can lead to profound insights. Questions such as, what did I accomplish today? What challenged me? And what can I improve tomorrow? Guide your thoughts constructively. Writing down your answers deepens your engagement and creates a record to track your journey over time. This habit strengthens your focus and clarifies your priorities. Reflection fosters gratitude by inviting you to acknowledge positive moments and growth. Recognizing even small successes builds confidence and encourages a positive mindset. Gratitude shifts your attention from what is lacking to what is present and valuable. This positive outlook increases motivation and resilience, helping you maintain momentum during setbacks. Incorporating reflection into your routine improves your problem-solving abilities. When you analyze situations thoughtfully, you uncover patterns and root causes. This deeper understanding leads to better decisions and smarter strategies. Reflection prevents repeating the same mistakes and supports continuous learning. Each day becomes a stepping stone to greater wisdom and effectiveness. Reflection also strengthens emotional intelligence. It helps you process feelings and understand how they influence your behavior. Managing emotions skillfully is crucial for maintaining discipline and building strong relationships. Daily reflection offers space to regulate stress and cultivate patience. This emotional balance enhances your overall well-being and productivity. A consistent reflection practice encourages mindfulness. It teaches you to be present with your experiences rather than rushing past them. Mindfulness deepens your appreciation of daily moments and reduces overwhelm. This calm attentiveness improves focus and allows you to engage fully in your work and relationships. Setting a specific time for reflection each day builds routine and reliability. Many successful people use morning or evening reflection to prepare for or review their day. Establishing this habit anchors your mindset and primes you for intentional action. Over time, reflection becomes an automatic and rewarding part of your daily rhythm. Use your reflections to set actionable goals for the following day or week. Transform insights into concrete steps that advance your progress. This practical follow-through bridges the gap between awareness and change. Reflection without action is incomplete. Pairing them creates momentum. Sharing reflections with a trusted friend, mentor, or coach amplifies their value. Talking through your insights brings new perspectives and accountability. This social aspect of reflection supports growth and deepens learning. Collaboration nurtures motivation and keeps you committed. Avoid harsh self-criticism during reflection. The goal is constructive honesty, not self-judgment. Treat yourself with kindness and curiosity as you explore your experiences. This compassionate attitude encourages openness and sustained effort. Recognize that reflection is an evolving skill. Your ability to observe and analyze yourself will improve with practice. Be patient and persistent as you develop this habit. Each reflection session adds layers of understanding and self-mastery. Reflection helps you identify distractions and habits that hinder your progress. By seeing these clearly, you can develop strategies to minimize or eliminate them. This clarity frees you to focus on what truly matters and make better use of your time. Daily reflection builds mental clarity by decluttering your thoughts. Writing or thinking through your day organizes your mind and reduces overwhelm. This clarity enhances creativity and problem-solving abilities. Approach reflection with openness to change. Be willing to adjust your mindset, behaviors, or plans based on what you learn. Flexibility in response to reflection is a sign of growth and wisdom. Stagnation comes from resistance to seeing and acting on truth. Reflection deepens your sense of purpose. Revisiting your goals and values regularly connects your daily actions to your bigger vision. This connection fuels motivation and resilience. A clear sense of purpose guides your energy and decision-making. Use reflection to celebrate progress, not just outcomes. Recognizing effort and learning builds confidence and persistence. Success is a journey made up of small, consistent steps, not only big wins. Incorporate different reflection methods to keep the practice fresh. Journaling, meditation, voice recording, or quiet contemplation can each offer unique benefits. Experiment to find what resonates best and supports your growth. Make reflection a priority even on busy or challenging days. These moments often offer the richest insights. Consistency in reflection builds resilience and adaptability through all circumstances. Reflection sharpens your ability to learn from feedback. When you take time to process others' input thoughtfully, you improve faster. Openness to feedback is a hallmark of successful people and continuous learners. Maintain humility during reflection. Acknowledge both your strengths and limitations without ego. This balanced view fosters realistic growth and sustained improvement. Daily reflection is a powerful tool for mastering yourself and your time. It turns experience into wisdom and challenges into opportunities. This practice creates a foundation for lifelong growth and achievement. Ultimately, reflecting daily keeps you aligned with your values and goals. It helps you move forward deliberately and confidently. This steady progress is the key to managing time, like the successful and living a meaningful life.